Alrighty, hello and welcome back, guys. We are back into another D&D session. This is going to be... I can't talk over this one. And that's how we're starting. This is going to be Chapter 3 of the Artifact in the Tomb, which is an Illumiland D&D campaign setting. I love the fact that the people who are sending alerts are the players, trying to distract me from my intro. So a little bit of a reminder, if you are on chapter 3 and you haven't seen the first 2 chapters, maybe go back to the other 2 chapters on YouTube. So I will drop links in the bios below, but also if you're here on Twitch with us, this is a really great chapter to jump into. It's kind of like a new start here, so I'm very excited for that. A little bit of a reminder, when we are doing D&D campaigns, we do not talk verbally to chat, but we will text chat with you, and you will see the text chat going across the screen too. So we have a series of mini campaigns. This is the 3rd installment, as well as there's been 2 other one-shots in the early eras, which are pretty cool. And so check those out. Hop in Discord if you want to learn a little bit more about the campaign setting. And yeah, let's dive on into things. So, last time we saw our new adventurers, they had just freed themselves from what was later identified to be the Trials of Naku, a way for the bandits to test themselves. Failing in their ultimate mission, and that was tasked with them by their guild, Kimber's Pride, to retrieve a mysterious artifact of Feywild origin by Andy Eirwin, a very well-respected noble. The group was left with a map to the bandit camp. They returned back to Vekasasha with the map in hand, greeted their guild, and reported back to the Leonin leader, Kimber, who arranged a meeting to update their patron, the one sponsoring this little endeavor and artifact hunting business, Eirwin. With plans to meet in the morning and take off after that to inspect the bandit camp location, they separated for the night. Leaf went to the temple district to visit with the sick and the downtrodden and to help them both morally and monetarily. Wenya went to the Dancing Drum, which was a little place of Egan culture that was... which is a country from down south, but one of the only few places up here in North in Rosewick, and received food, fellowship, as well as was able to express himself via dance. Perlin went to the night market, connected with the people, seeing the sights, and picked up a peculiar object from what he later identified as his god, the scam god Sham. Tustin went to the theater to perform for the evening, garnering the attention and affection of the people of Rosewick. And finally, Lear went to the Escarosa household to check in with his patrons and the people who sponsor him, and got swept up in a chaperone project for the evening for the daughter of the house, and not so secret object of his affections, Lilith. Evenings of rest had been had. The group reconvened for the morning, for their first meeting, or their meeting with Andy Eirwin, the noble house that operates the financial advice in Rosewick. The High Elf made a deal with them, procure the artifact, as you already were too, confirm the kill of Naku, and scatter or kill the bandits. And he kind of specified that you should kill the leader of the bandits and then scatter the rest, or just kill them all. With the promise of additional coin and favor for each of those 3 things that you managed to complete. The group set out towards the location on the map with disguises and a borrowed cart in hopes of tricking the bandits into robbing them. However, there are some very perceptive bandits, and a ruse on a secluded road alerted the group of their presence, and in time for them to set up an ambush. A half-elf woman, petite, with brown hair braided back and hazel eyes, stopped and confronted you, trying to see why you threaten her bandits. Through the power of persuasion and revealing of several of their symbols to the woman, who was later identified as Lear as Enganaku's daughter, she agreed to have a chat with you in the comfort of her camp. And this is where we pick up. The woman is leading you further along into the woods. A large orc, who who moved deceptively quiet for someone of his bulk and height, fell in line at her back with one intimidating glare to you, Tustin, who had been kind of like on her shoulder. Also decked out in leathers, you see several swords at his hip. Moments later, a blur of a figure swings past you, disappearing and flashing through magic, as some of you would recognize a misty step, and appeared next to the man. A very small gnome woman walking backwards, grinning at you all before turning and skipping up to the half-elf leader. You walk through the woods for roughly a mile, Naku's daughter keeping you at a brisk pace. The rest of the bandits fall in, and it's evident that while they are not taking you prisoner, you are being watched for signs of aggression. And so, with that, is there any conversation that you wish to have as you are walking, or are you kind of just letting them lead you?
I think mostly just letting them lead us.
I would let them lead me very evidently, but I would also try to connect to Tuscan's head with my telepathic feature and say, if you can, I would prefer if you would scour words, phrases, and the sentences in between for any other information. She seems to like you.
All right. And we did establish last time that while you can telepathically speak to people, they cannot telepathically speak back. My ADHD brain did not take notes, so I had to go watch the session to know what was revealed. Beauty of recording things. Carry on.
I think after hearing his voice in my head, I'll kind of just like take a look around, like wherever we're walking, and just kind of spin around, and be like, wow, this is a nice place. And as soon as I see him, I'll give him a wink. So like, I got you. And then I'll continue turning around and walking forward. Pretty interesting. Not too bad.
She speaks up. She doesn't like turn back to face you, and she speaks up, and all you can really see is the bulk of the orc in front of you, and says, "It's a very, very nice part of the woods, if I do say so myself. No one comes here. We like to keep to ourselves unless we choose."
Is it just the location, or is there like another reason these woods? Because I can think of, just off the top of my head, like a dozen locations where no one goes.
This time she does kind of toss a glance over and like specifically makes eye contact with you and just gives you a little half smirk. "I'm sure you can." And then turns around, keeps walking. Does not answer your question.
Yeah, Tussin will take that cue. He'll be like, okay. All right.
Playing hard to get.
You continue through the woods, and you walk for roughly a mile-ish. So it takes you maybe like 20, 15 minutes, depending on how many you are. And you continue to see bandits appear through the sides and then kind of disappearing. They're all wearing sorts of leathers, browns and greens that help them blend into the trees. So you see a couple similar faces before they disappear and continue on into the distance. But the three in front of you never seem to waver. And actually at one point, the gnome kind of falls back a little bit and just like looks at you, grins, and then like skips. And she does that to each of you. She's like, you're not sure if she doesn't speak. She doesn't say anything to you, but you're not sure like if she's eyeing you up, if she's like checking what you have on you don't know. But she gets a little close to you guys and kind of circles around the whole group.
Let me just check something.
What are you checking?
Nope, that's the part. Nope, that part is a part of the spell, so I cannot do it anymore.
Oh, got it. Okay. So with that, You can continue in roughly silence, and the forest does continue to grow tall and thicker around you, and you walk slightly north. And almost out of nowhere, a camp appears. It's built into the trees. You see several tents that dot the ground, but the more you look, the more you realize that there are buildings in the trees. Bridges connect them, permanent. Several of the people do patrol the top, designed to be seen. Most of them have bows or crossbows across their back, or in their hands. And you can feel, especially those with a higher passive perception, that there are more unseen watching you. She leads you kind of underneath one of these bridges and through, like, the orc kind of stands and holds a bit of a branch and kind of a bush aside for you, and you all, like, walk through and see a little bit of a clearing where there seems to be a fire pit, and she motions for all of you to sit down.
I'll take a seat.
Yeah, there's a couple of logs, a couple of, like, crude little stump stools.
Lear very evidently takes out, like, a very thin cloth that he normally uses to wipe his hands and places it over the log.
Love it. As you all kind of take a seat, and the orc is kind of standing right at the entrance to where you just walked through, his arms crossed, and just like this intimidating bulk. And you're not quite sure where the gnome disappeared to, but the young woman is standing in front of you. I almost gave away her name. You haven't asked for it yet. But she's standing in front of you and is kind of looking at you, eyeing you up a little bit. All right. You got my attention. I said we could talk. You know the location of our camp. Now talk.
It's rude to ask information without introducing yourself.
Now here's the question. If I introduce myself, is it going to make a difference?
Well, niceties are niceties.
Yeah, but
Miss.
I could tell you any name just as you could tell me any name. And so the question is whether or not you know the history and know who I am. You said you were a bit of a fangirl. Of whom?
Well, my companion here is definitely a fan of all the traps that was set up in the previous trial, let's say. So surely he knows. As for me, I just care about the person in front of me. So, I promise to give my name if you promise to be truthful with yours.
All right. My name is Elara.
Now, DM, I forgot. Was that the real name that I picked up from her head?
You didn't pick up a name from her head. All you picked up was that she was the daughter of Naku.
You know what? That's right. I'm stupid. Never mind.
So
Could we insight that?
she just said mother, is all she said in her head. But you know nothing about a daughter. There's nothing in the legends, nothing in the stories, or anything along those lines. And she's not giving you a surname. You can definitely insight check that, anyone who would like to.
I'll insight check it, but also at the same time going clear.
And you're the one who has a little bit of a association with the Escarosa family.
Makes sense, yes.
All right. And the rest of you?
So Oh, go ahead, go ahead. You do you first. Trust me, it's way better.
I'm but a humble traveler, a servant of the divines. I make my way through places such as these out in the wilderness, seeking continued spiritual enlightenment.
And your name?
I'm Leaf Anthon. At your service, if
What?
it be good one. If it be a good service, that is.
Pleasure. And the rest of you, and she looks at you, Perlin.
You may refer to me as Perilyn.
All right. And Wenya apparently is a little quiet. We'll see what he says when he gets back. But she looks at you, Tustin.
He's like leaning on one like fisted up hand. He's like, "Hi." He's like, "My name's Jet. It's Tustin. Hi."
Hello.
It's a pleasure to meet you. Yeah, I'm the fangirl. I'm sorry if you couldn't tell. Of your mom, but I'm pretty sure your mom, right?
Oh, so you
What-
figured it
Mom.
out.
Well,
What do you
I
mean,
mean-
Mama?
I mean, from what I've read, she's a beautiful person. You're coming here with all of her swagger and also are a beautiful person. I just put 2 and 2 together. It's easy math in my head.
Forget
Tell me
about
if I'm
him.
wrong.
Forget about him. He's an idiot.
And you. And she'll look at you, Wenya.
I am Winya. I am a servant of nature from Ega.
All right. You are a curious party. One employed by a noble, one employed by the gods. A creature of either the Feywild or the South. One who serves nature, and a fangirl.
I giggle.
Yes,
Name it Tusk.
yes, Iganaku is my mother. Was my mother.
Was?
I'm sure you've heard the rumors that she has moved on from this world.
I just thought the rumors of her death were greatly exaggerated.
Maybe. Or maybe she is alive and I'm just keeping up the ruse. This is the camp of the Naku Bandits. And now that you know it, it puts you a little bit at risk because it depends on what your intentions are here. If your intentions are as what they seem to be, and the path that you followed, which was figuring out our trials, which I'm not quite sure how you got that information and found them, as well as coming to the location marked on the map, then we can talk. We can continue the trials and talk about further working with the bandits. Or, if your intention is nefarious, then I'm sure you've already figured out that we have you surrounded.
Oh, I want to say it so bad, but it's not a good time.
So I guess my question is, what's your goal here? What do you wish to know? Why have you traveled from your, I assume Vekasasha, as the cart that we left behind insists, set up such an elaborate ruse to try to get us to rob you?
I can only speak for myself and maybe the fangirl over there. I personally wanted to see if the rumors were true, especially at the risk that could be opposed to my family's name.
Oh, but there's no risk opposed to your family's name. Although, I'm sure you weren't aware of that. You must not be one of the higher-ups.
Clearly not.
Need to know information. I've had an agreement with them for a while. I mean, my mother was, as you figured out based on your knowledge of stories and theater, that she was very infatuated. And with the Escarosa connection,
It would explain why the story of Reverie, a very famous Escarosa performance, was in the trial.
yeah.
Cousin is just like looking back and forth like a ping pong ball, like at this conversation. So.
He's not saying it with malice, but there's definitely not insidious, but trying to make.
Yeah, I got you. You're not being malicious. You're just more trying to like, I know things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And as soon as you finish saying that, you're kind of cut off as the gnome swings, like literally swings, and then bamfs off of a fall, like she was falling, and she misty stepped to the ground next to Elara, and like just kind of looks up at her with like this gigantic grin, and is like, "Secure, everyone in place." And then she like waves at all of you, and kind of just stands there.
Oh
She
god.
does talk.
Oh god. A very big thing with Lee here. He has to acknowledge her. Good evening. You are?
It's kind of the middle of the day, but I assume you're just being noble, polite. But yeah. Hi, I'm one of her generals, and Elara just kind of, holds her face a little bit.
How old for a gnome does this gnome girl look?
Like the equivalent of about, she's young adult. So, if Elara...
so she does...
If Elara looks like she's, maybe 25, 28-ish, the gnome looks like she's probably in that same range. Maybe a little bit younger.
So she does have
Okay.
ADHD, got it.
Ooh, did I miss introductions? I'm so sorry. I'm Lyra, and that hunk over there is Brennar. He doesn't talk much.
It's okay.
Does she gesture to the orc?
Yes, she does. And
It's okay.
He kind of does a little grunt.
It's a pleasure to meet you. What was it? Lena?
Lyra.
Lyra. My apologies. I am Lear, Miss Almighty General, and I'm directly looking at her with her face in her hand.
Lyra puffs up a little bit, and Elara just sighs a little bit more. But Lyra goes, it's customary to bring presents when you come visit. Do you have any presents?
Oh.
I
Was
do.
that scribbled somewhere in the challenge chamber?
She shrugs.
Yeah. Well,
I left it back in the cart.
You said there was nothing back in the cart, but okay.
it's fine. As a noble, a noble associate, I am very accustomed to this. I shall present you with a gift. I give her the Pendant of Health. Would this make us on good terms?
So, a magic item?
Yes.
Ooh. And you see her eyes light up for a second, and just a flash of green energy as she holds it, and she's like, oh, this is a good gift indeed. And she skips up, and she actually puts it around Elara's neck.
I'm using this incident to try and get a feel for both of them, how they act with, and if they're magically inclined versus how, Miss Sulky over there is acting.
Okay. So you said an amulet of health. Okay.
No, I can't say this fucking word.
Oh, the parapet of health.
Parapet, yeah, that's the bitch.
Parapet.
Yeah,
Okay.
that.
Got it.
Perfect.
So with that, especially because you are magically inclined, it is very evident that, Lyra, she definitely cast something. She knows exactly what this item is. She probably cast Identify, and she recognized it as a magic item right away.
As I recognize that immediately, because I'm focusing on her, because I'm giving it her first before focusing on the other one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm passing that information around to everybody. So she's a caster. Be careful of this one in particular. And now I'm focusing on the leader, seeing how they react to this type of gift.
Elara just like kind of looks at it as Lyra had placed it around her neck, and she, interesting. She doesn't seem to like cast anything, but she seems to trust implicitly that Lyra identified it and determined it for her.
Wenya's gonna say, I would have had a gift, but it seems you are already taken. And winks at Lyra.
Motherfucker going for the halfling.
Damn, you like some short.
Yes.
Are we talking about Wenya or Charles?
Yes.
She's small for a halfling. Okay, goddamn.
She's actually a gnome.
She's a gnome gross.
She skips up to you and it's fast. Like she
Well, there
moves
goes your shot.
a
Let's go.
little bit faster than most gnomes, and she's right in your face as you're sitting down. So like she's actually still a little bit shorter than you because you're a tall boy. And she says, "That's none of your business, nor would you have a chance." And like skips away.
Oh,
Shut down.
Also, mood.
Well, too bad, Wenya, too bad. Better luck next time.
Elara speaks up again. Now, you still have kind of been dodgy. Are you hoping to join up with us? Or are you here and are looking for information? Obviously, you're following some sort of legend of my mother. What are your intentions?
I'll go to Tuskin's head going, go on, almighty leader of the party.
Don't even say that shit. If I'm the leader, we're doomed. I'm just saying this.
Well, you have been talking the most for us.
He's a flustered boy.
Yeah.
Go
okay. I'll kind of like turn to her wherever she's sitting, and hopefully that puts him at my back, and I'll flip him off just very gently, but, like just let him know. Fuck you, by the way.
I'll allow it. Absolutely.
I'll be like, well, I mean, I don't think we're being cagey. I just think we're being cautious. And a little, we're telegraphing a lot because we needed to gauge you as well as you gauged us. We're in the business. I mean, from one professional to another, I mean, you got a bigger outfit. I mean, you can consider me an entrepreneur. I'd love to get to know the inner workings of the business. And some other things, but not now. Right now, we're focused on acquisitions.
What are you?
There's some things we need.
What are you hoping to acquire?
Well, first your trust, and then after that, maybe we can talk about what we're looking to acquire. But know that we made it through the first trial, and we got here, and you haven't killed us yet, so I kind of think you like us a little bit.
Okay. Oh, I just realized I never resolved your insight checks. I'm so sorry, guys. Lyra and Wenya, from what she was saying, it seems like she's being honest about her truth, as well as who she is as a person. But you also, she's hard to read. She's very difficult to read. Perlin, you can tell that, number one, she is slippery. You know, like how Tustin speaks sometimes? She's slippery. However, she was very truthful with her name, and you see just like a little bit of a piece of mourning when she was speaking about her mother. So, especially with the 28.
Small number. It's a very small number.
Just a little number. Oh, also, just so you guys can see, this is the orc.
Handsome fellow.
As orcs go, yes.
So this is the orc, and then here is Lyra.
Damn, is that a man bun?
It is a man bun.
Okay, I get it, Wenya. I get it.
Yeah, okay. I kind of see it.
She definitely gives off very chaotic bisexual vibes.
Yeah.
So, and I love her for that.
When you say no,
I wonder
it's a
where
gnome,
she
right?
gets that from.
No.
Gnome.
How tall are gnomes normally?
Like
About
2.5
on the tallest-
to 3.5 feet.
Oh God!
Yeah, you're like a ginormous. Like
Oh.
she's the size of your foot.
Please
Like,
don't have
she's-
children with the gnome.
Ugh.
Anyway, so kind of going back, she responds to you. All right. Well, then let me propose this. We will continue as if you had completed the trials. You found the way to the camp, which is the second trial, and now we will go into the third trial, which is, do we like you? And through the evening, we'll see if we can gain trust both mutually on either sides, and then maybe in the morning or later this evening, we can have a bit more of a conversation, you know? Probably later
There's,
this evening.
There's a bit of a blush, and he's like, "I'd love that. That'd be great."
Well, if you're hosting, I imagine there should be food and catering.
Oh, of course. Food, drink, catering. Peter over there makes a really bomb-ass, kind of like half cider, half mead. It's pretty delicious. All right. Well, with that, and she just claps, and suddenly there's like everyone around you's in motion. Lyra and Brennar don't move. They stay exactly where they are. But everyone around you is in motion, and you start to begin to smell things as people are, like, it seemed like they were waiting for the cue. Like, there's cooking happening in a clearing over a little bit, and there's, like, you see a guy rolling out a casket, and it's, like, midday.
A cask or a casket?
Oh, a cask. Yep, there we go.
I was like, we didn't know if it was a murder or a feast. They were ready for both, apparently.
Dude, a casket cask?
Yep. So she goes, all right, well, participate in the festivities. There's a couple of different events we will throw that we typically do around here to entertain ourselves in between jobs. There is one mandatory one at the about dusk that we will all participate in, but get to know the people, get to know us, tell us your stories, and we'll see what happens. Maybe we can have a conversation later.
Very well. As he stands up and very, almost mechanically puts away the cloth in square pocket on your way.
Lyra looks at her wrist. She does not have any sort of, like, wristwatch or anything like that. She looks at her wrist and goes, the obstacle course will commence in about 20 minutes. Have drinks.
Before an obstacle course? Nice. Y'all are crazy. Drinking and obstacles? Okay. Okay.
I just gotta make sure the contestants spin around before the obstacle course, too.
Ooh, that's a fun idea. Maybe we should do that before the three-legged race. That would be hilarious. But we usually do that, like, a couple hours in, so that people get a little bit more drunk.
Helen, please don't encourage this.
No, it's fine.
Apparently,
It is very evident.
you should absolutely encourage this. Please
I was about
encourage
to say,
this.
you're telling the man that follows a trickster god not to ensue chaos.
If you don't mind, is there a place I can get changes to some, change my clothes? I'm gonna look the same. It's just I'm getting rather irritated.
You ask Lyra, because Elara has gone. She's walked off, sauntered away, if you will. So Lyra was kind of walking with you, and Brennar is, like, pacing behind you as you move towards, like, a different side of the clearing. And she goes, I suppose... Here, I'll show you. And you kind of push through the brush into another kind of separate clearing, and there's another bridge that you pass under, and you see a smaller tent. And then there's another large tent in greens and browns, and it looks like it would blend in really well if you weren't looking for it. But she pushes into the smaller one and goes, "Here, this can be your home base. This is kind of what we do when it's our flex space. So, it'll be yours for today."
Thank you. He's doing this in his head, like figuring out the dimensions. Much appreciated.
And just know that I will be listening to you. And she sits down cross-legged and looks at you.
I would prefer you don't listen or see me changing at all.
Oh, so your companions can, but you can. Fine. And she walks out of the tent, and you hear another plunk. She's making herself known that she's sitting outside of the tent.
My companions don't see me naked either. That is very strange.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
It wasn't impressive the one time we did anyway, so you're good.
That is a lie. They have not seen me naked at all.
Okay. Yes, Charles?
Check the chat log in Roll20.
Oh. In Roll20. I'm so sorry. Oh, no, I saw it all.
Okay,
I saw
good.
it all.
God.
Chat sees it all, too.
Good.
As they should. Anyway, Lear's very evidently making a bit more than usual noise, rustling his clothes, making sure that it is known that he's not doing anything shader as he spends like 20 minutes in there getting groomed up, putting his clothes back on, coming out, and he's again very more evidently oiled up.
All right. What do the rest of you do during these 20 minutes? Are you staying outside? Are you going off towards the food and the festivities?
I'm just going to be stretching.
Okay. Sounds good. Just so you guys know, for those who are participating in drinking at all, I have devised a system that has been half procured off the interwebs, half devised by myself. And there will be different tiers of what's going to happen the more you drink. And it's pretty fair if I do say so myself. So.
Well, in that case, I want to test this out. I'm going to be drinking.
Okay. So, Perilyn wanders off towards the cask of of whatever cider that she was talking about. Any other of you joining as well?
Oh, yes. Leaf will accompany him.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Oh God, I'm going to need to make a personality check.
Justin's not just watching his girlfriend?
No, he wants to impress her, so he's gonna try to drink a little bit because she said to do all the things, so he's gonna try to do all the.
All right.
Okay.
She didn't
So,
even ask for any rules.
he was making a
personality
personality check. It's fine. So, Tustin and Leaf and Perilyn, you guys all head out to the kind of area, and you see a sandy brown-haired human who is dressed in like the typical leathers and has a couple of weapons on him, and he actually is taking a dagger out of the cask right now and has just tapped it and then shoves a spout in it really quickly, and then like looks at all of you and just kind of smiles, like, "Do you want
Well, there.
a drink?"
What have we got here?
"Oh, so I developed this. It's kind of done in the mead style, but it's a cider, so it's like an apple mead. But it's still it has like a little bit of an effervescence."
Well, I love cider and mead, so I think this will be a real treat.
Okay.
And he'll go for it. He'll go for it. He'll take a big mug.
Yeah, he pours you a mug.
Go for it.
And he'll pour the other two of you a mug since you're standing right there. And then he like sits there and he like is looking at you like watching. He wants to see your reactions.
All right. What's it like?
It's surprisingly good. Like, you, especially you, because, like, you have a little bit more of a connection with nature and have had a lot of flavors before, get, like, a little hint of, like, it's very crisp green appley, and there's just like a little bit of that honey flavor with it, and it's pretty darn good, actually.
Oh, I've got to say, this is quite the creation. Quite a splendid creation. You know, I did brewing a lot back in my 20s and 30s. And I've got to say, this is some of the best I've tasted.
He, like, full on is blushing, and he looks so excited.
And it's pretty soon that he's going for another mug.
Okay, if you'd like that, sir, I made my own honey wine, too, but it's like the secret stuff, but you seem to have a taste. Do you want to try that, too?
I would be honored.
Okay, so since you slammed your mead pretty quickly, go ahead and roll me a constitution save.
Okay, sounds good to me. All right, let's see.
For the rest of you, when you finish your drink, let me know. Because it's gonna matter. Okay, you are fine with a 13 for the beer. And he hands you a glass of the honey wine, and he, like, pours you a pretty good-sized glass. And you sample it, and, Joey, you remember my old workplace, the ice wine? That is exactly what it tastes like, but a lot more honey.
Okay.
So it's a
Ooh,
very
that's better.
sweet, almost viscous, and it's ice cold, which is kind of weird because they're in the middle of nowhere. Ice cold, and it, like, is a little viscous, very honey flavored.
Perlin and Tustin are both here, right?
Correct.
Are they? Yeah. You would see, as Leaf's enjoying this honeyed wine, you'd see a level of sophistication you don't usually see in this burly, dirty dwarf. It's almost like he's transported to another time as he's drinking this.
Love.
Would we have ever seen you drink like this before?
I don't think so. I
Okay.
don't think so.
Well, this is
Usually he's the one who's either abstinent or just taking, like, a beer with the boys. That sort of
Gotcha.
vibe.
So
What
about this time, I'm assuming you're gonna wander into the clearing looking for beverages, Lear?
Yeah, I made the personality roll because the talks of made a cider brought back memories of when he used to work in a tavern, and him and the other employees would make chimera drinks and see who can hold the most disgusting drink down
Fuck yeah.
as long as possible.
What
Oh,
was
you
it
made
called?
suicide.
It's like the
The
mat.
chimera drink.
My dad
The
calls
grog.
it the mat drink, like what you dump from the bar mat into the bucket and then they like stir that.
Yeah. So in they've all seen like Lear be very sophisticated, basically only drinking wines and very like scotches and everything like that, very more high end stuff. This is the first time they goes, give me something that is very mixed, for old time's sake.
Alright. Honestly, I kind of just have the cider mead right now. I buckled down because everybody liked it. And then some secret stuff that we can break out later. But that's later. And then he winks at you, Leaf.
He'll give a smile back and say, "What's your name, son? Have
Peter.
you considered opening a tavern?"
Well, I mean, that's kind of why I'm here. I'm hoping to get enough money. And then, Elara's gonna help me figure out where I want to be located. I'm thinking probably down in the coast somewhere. And I'm going to purchase some land and try.
Do I know where
Alright.
he's talking about?
Yeah.
Like, could I, as an entertainer and someone who has his finger on the pulse of the city, would I know a better spot for a little, like, fine, choice meadery?
So in...
Like, I want to give him general advice if there would be a better spot.
Absolutely. So in Vekasasha, there would definitely be a place for a choice meadery, especially because it's like a college kid town, and then there's like a lot of like rich people in the area. So like that could be a really good place. He's very specifically talking about kind of the south, like further south, way further south, down past Rosewick, towards the coast. In, hold on, what's it called? I lost it. in Drangler's
wow.
Bay kind of area.
Okay. So I probably wouldn't know as much about there. So
No.
I wouldn't say anything.
Okay. But he pours you all a beverage.
Leia will drink it.
Okay. It's pretty good.
And this has been like one of the quicker times you've seen Leia drink something.
Lovely.
Is-
So as those who are finishing their beverages quickly, as we're about to move on towards the next thing that's about to happen, go ahead and roll me a Constitution save.
I would have been finishing mine up too, so.
Oh!
If you're nursing it,
10.
you do not have to.
Oh, I was nursing mine, but I rolled like shit. So
If you don't want to finish yours, we can hold on to that 5 until after you finish your drink.
I would like be nursing it, and then like when it was like, oh, it's time to go, I'd be like, oh, I gotta drink this, and spill like half of it
Okay.
on my shit. Like I'd be like, it's man, I gotta hurry. The obstacle course, guys. Yeah, I'd
Leif-
try to play it
Leif would
off.
be nursing the wine, and if he doesn't finish it, he'd be like, "I'll be back for you later."
Okay.
You're gonna leave the drink unattended in enemy territory?
I like the
And
challenge.
No. Friends. If you're drinking together.
First, did I succeed my con save?
Okay, so for beers, it is actually a 12, not a 14 or not a 10. And so what that means is you guys, those who have failed, have now entered into the tipsy range. So you all have advantage on charisma saves and any saves against becoming frightened.
Ah. Well, in return for a very tasty cider mead, Leia brings out what looks like a water skin. But as soon as he opens it and asks for 2 glasses, it very clearly turns into like low-end bartender choice amber whiskey.
Okay. Breaking out some whiskey. Sounds good. And you hear just like a horn blowing kind of in the distance. It seems to be coming from about 200 feet towards the south. And Peter perks up and he goes, "Oh, perfect. Come on. And like leads you.
You're whiskey boy.
Oh. For me?
Yes. Drink for drink.
Cheers. And he like cheers you and like shoots it.
Make him make that con save.
Alrighty. I'm gonna roll this openly because I think it's funny. He has a +2. So,
Each time he gets smashed.
Ooh.
he is now tipsy.
Deleted.
Okay.
Maybe this is how we win. We just get the entire camp drunk as fuck.
I mean, that's their goal right now. So,
The tables have turned.
you all head towards, and you follow him, and you're looking along the ground for, like, obstacle course shit. Like, your guild does this occasionally for the newer people, where you're, like, set up, like, different things, and they, like, try to go through it, and you guys, as the older, a little bit more well-established group, has gotten to do the, we'll throw shit at them during it to try to make it more difficult stuff. So, like, it's been a while since you've been on the obstacle course. And you go, and there's, like, a little bit of a clearing. And then you just see, like, a whole bunch of trees. You don't see anything. And Peter stops and grins, and then he points up. And you look up, and it's not an obstacle course. It's a ropes course through the trees. And there's a ladder that drops down one of them, and he, like, goes and he climbs up it, and you see his foot slip for a second, he's like, oh shit, and then he, like, keeps climbing up it. And you actually see, kind of in the middle of it, so past, like, a whole bunch of these little, they look like little swings, standing on, like, a little thing around, or a bridge? Deck. It's called a deck. Good job, Zari. Standing on a little deck around a tree, she like, calls out and says, all right, so the time has come. We are welcoming some new people, and I see you've already been hitting the drinks. The food should be ready after this one, but you guys know how this works. We're going through. The person who makes it the farthest without falling wins. It's a straight path. Carry on. And it's pretty fast paced. So you guys watch as you are kind of waiting to go up the ladder. About 4 people like take off almost at the same time. And it's not like a race. There's a couple of different paths like through these trees to the next bridge. And it's not like a race, but they're racing each other. So they're trying to like go through as fast as possible. And the first one's these swings, and then you watch as like the next one seems to be a little bit harder. There's like ropes that go across and then little planks halfway through. And then there's like this next one where you have to like walk along a rope, and there's like different ropes all the way through that you have to like weave through, and you're watching as these bandits are all racing through it. And many of them are pretty good at it, but I mean, they've probably been doing this for a while. And it gets to be your turns. Is everyone participating?
May I just ask a
Sure.
question?
Yes.
You said whoever can get the fires out falling. What do you dictate as falling? Like touching the ground below?
It's more leaving the ropes course. So, if you make it part of the way down towards the ground, you've fallen, but there's very few people here who are... There's some that won't, like, hit the ground, but it depends on their abilities.
So, this is me asking out of character. If I hang upside down, is that...
That
me
counts! That's
falling?
you... No! That's not you fall. You could 110%. And actually, you see, as you say that, you see one person approach what a lot of other people... It's like a pretty thick, not like... It's like a really thick boy rope. And some of them, like, run across it. And you actually see one bandit, like, swing down and, like, do the little army crawl upside down.
Okay.
So, as long as you know, do things in good sport. Try not to use magic to teleport and the like.
Very well.
Unless you
check
fall.
me for... You want to check me for magic items just in case?
I don't need to pat you down.
Very
You
well.
wanna pat me down?
Okay?
Winya, you've already been rejected.
No, I was making that joke out of character. Do have a question though.
Yes.
Being in the jungles of Ego for a while, how similar does this look to some of the stuff that we would have done?
Absolutely. And so here's the thing. If you want to argue advantage for some reason like this, I absolutely will give advantage. That seems like something you 110% would have.
Awesome.
Can I have advantage on acrobatics checks?
For what?
For being very dexterous, learning how probably to dance on very thin
So-
lines.
Here's the thing, is that, like, your natural acrobatics is going to be high enough because you know how to do that, unless you want to say that you're, like, trained in, you know, aerial performances, where Wenya can argue it because he's from a jungle region, so they would have had a lot of different things. True.
Okay, never mind then.
Yeah, that's, like,
I
the
want
difference.
advantage. Okay, I'm ready.
Same here, I'm all ready.
Yeah, I'm just gonna roll with it. Let's go.
Okay, so for those who are going through, go ahead and roll me an acrobatics check, and as well as a luck check. So
That's
luck
the
check is a
D100, right?
D100. Yep.
I would also like to note that I am taking my pace. I am not running at all.
Okay.
Wait, quick question. Are any part of it, since it's ropes a lot of the time, is any part of it athletics rather than acrobatics?
If you want, absolutely. If you want to do athletics instead of acrobatics, you absolutely can.
My boy might be a monk, but he's a strong monk.
He's a strunk.
Okay, DM, how does a nat 20 do for this?
Absolutely.
Oh shit.
You fail. You had to get under a certain number too. You did
Yeah,
too good.
yeah, yeah.
You're
You
going
did too
faggot.
well.
Too good.
Absolutely too well.
You didn't know this was
You go-
supposed to be the whole
You go,
non-Newtonian?
you go so fast you miss the rope.
Okay, so let's resolve everyone. let's resolve people in order. So Lear was the first to roll. You had a 19 acrobatics, and what was your luck check?
81.
81. So you do pretty darn well. You take off and you're getting through this really fast. And you manage to get towards like the second to last challenge. Where it's kind of like the checkpoints, you can see them all are like different decks with flags marked in them. And the second to last challenge is a very skinny rope, and you, using some of your natural abilities, kind of flip upside down and go across it. But then another person gets on the rope because this is a free-for-all, and it wiggles a little bit too much and you drop. So keep in mind you're dropping about 10 feet. For the sake of this, I'm not making you take fall damage, but like, it hurts. However...
Can I roll a second acrobatics check to land on my feet?
Sure, if you would like. However, Lear, you, throughout it all, you're definitely faster than most of the bandits, and you do a really great job in terms of cruising through this. And it seems that people are really impressed with you. Okay, the next person who rolled was Wenya. So Wenya, with a natural 20 as well as a 92%, you complete it. And you complete it so fast. This is so natural to you, it's so easy, and it's almost dancing. And once you get to the last challenge, there's not ropes. It is straight up, like, leaping through tree branches to the next one. And there's, like, one leap that feels like it should be impossible, and you manage to make it. And you land. And every time that you hit a course and there's other people on it, you are the first one done. And it is very evident to everyone. Actually, like, when you finish, you look down and you see that Elara is watching you, and she just gives you, like, a and a nod. And, like, moves her attention to the next one, but she's definitely very impressed.
As he realizes Alara's looking at him, he's actually going to rub at his eyes because it's made him feel like he was at home.
Aww.
And made him think of his family, so he's kind of emotional.
That's really sweet. Okay, Tustin with a 10.
I rolled a 3 on the dice. I just wanted you to know.
I like to imagine, like, the alcohol isn't affecting you physically, but I just like to imagine that you're just a little flustered by this whole thing. And what happens is you're on, like, there's like an equivalent of a monkey bars with like a rope underneath it, and you just see, you make eye contact with Elara, and you get really flustered, and your foot slips. And you manage to catch it, because you're like a naturally dexterous person, but then your hand slips, and you fall like in a heap almost right in front of her.
I cast invisibility. I roll away. Like, I don't exist in this world right now. I'll blush and I'll be like, I'm just invisible, and you pat her off the ground.
She laughs.
I'll even be like, you're cute. No, I'll run away. Like, I'll say it as I run away.
While invisible?
Yeah, I said it. And I just run out.
She laughs so hard at you, just like a little bit, and then like kind of goes back to watching what's happening. So Leaf with a 16, and then a 96 on the luck check. You go strong and steady. You're going through this. You're using less of like moving fast and like leaping from place to place, and a lot more of like using your natural strength to pull yourself across and to walk across, and doing the kind of slow and steady wins the race. And your bulk also kind of shakes it a little bit to the point that some people fall off behind you because you're just a little bit heavy. And you manage to beat quite, like, the slow and steady is getting you pretty far. And you get to about the fourth to last one before there's a jump that's just a little bit too far and you slip on it. Manage to catch yourself, though, and then fall. So, beautiful job. Perlin, with a 21, and then an 11 on your luck check. I like to imagine that you get through a couple, and then you kind of, like, sit and take a little bit of a break. And you like pull a flask out and you're just like watching, and it's a really pretty view, and you get a little bit distracted up here, and like 4 or 5 people go past you, and then you're like, oh shit, I'm in the middle of something. I get back up and like continue through do like really fast and very well. And you do manage to get almost to the end. So you're at about the last like one. You get further than Lear. And you do get to the last one, and it's just the leaping through the branches that just is not quite enough for you. And you do manage to not quite make it to the finish line, but you're super darn close. So, alrighty. With that, exactly, it fits. With that, the whole group kind of reconvenes, and there are more drinks passed out. At this point, the food is done, and it's some really awesome, like, flaky bread and pastries that have cheese in it, and there's some really delicious meats, several roast pigs that are kind of, and boars that are, like, finished, as well as some really good-looking, like, rabbit stew, and the food is delicious. And very, very well done, very well seasoned. And actually, you guys recognize that some of the, especially you, Lear, recognize that some of these seasonings are not things that lowly commoners would have. And you kind of draw the conclusion that, oh, they definitely have, like, every so often rob some sort of spice train to get enough spices for their food. And they have the good shit.
I'll probably use that as conversation starter. So I'll take a bowl of either rabbit stew or fresh boar. In hand, one hand, just cloth log next to the leader, or at least as close as I can get without being stabbed.
Okay.
And like, so what exactly spice trade do you hit? The one from the east or the north?
Are you asking what our robbing route is?
I'm just curious. Seeing how these some high-end spices in here.
I feel like if you could identify the spices, you'll know which route they hit. So.
I mean,
Not
yeah, probably.
necessarily, but like
He's
they
a
can,
man of finesse, a man of eloquence.
well, what I'm saying
No, I'm a
is that-
newfound man.
What I'm saying is that like they go throughout the entire world, and so like even if
Oh,
they
okay, I
robbed
gotcha.
something, it could have gone through Rosewick. You're not sure. She kind of says a little bit here, a little bit there. We are, I'm sure you've heard, relatively picky with those that we stop along the way. But it just depends. We tend to stick to the area as much as possible and make informed decisions.
Informed decisions like which contacts not to hit.
As I'm sure you've already figured out, considering the fact that your family has never been hit.
Yes, well, you can never be too sure. These types of alliances are fruitful until somebody gets a little big for the world, let's say.
Well, if this is an intimidation tactic here, I will assure you that I stick to my promises and my mother's word. My mother has given her word for that none of the Escarosa family shall never be touched, and in terms of their goods being taken. And I am here to uphold that. Though what is the
No.
honor of a robber?
That is true, but the question is, what do you think the Escarosas consider goods? Now, I'm not Escarosa by blood. Am I a good? Have I just been robbed? Seeing how I was escorted to your camp?
Well, I don't know. Are you going to be free to walk out of here?
That's yet to be seen.
Let me put it this way. we defend ourselves in situations that have altercations. And
Let's do
until
that.
that has happened, you're free to go as long as you give your word that we'll stay safe. And if you betray us, then that's an altercation.
I try not to betray anyone.
Oh,
I
good.
can't.
That would be a very smart thing to do, considering the fact that your family is tied up in this and you are now a representative of them.
That is true. But I also cannot speak for my companions. Especially that one hiding in the bushes staring at you. As he's very evidently leaning over to see Tuscan.
Tustin is still invisible. It's not been an hour, and he is definitely lurking in the bushes. And she like looks, and she's like, "Okay, whatever."
Man.
Well,
Well,
let me assure you, until you show any aggression towards me, you are safe here.
I appreciate your word of me being safe, but you must understand. As a man, especially one from my type of background, brought into the Escarosa family of a rough bringing, aggression is a very useful tool if needed. I'm just being wary.
I respect it. Wariness will get you very far in life. And I think we pull away from that scene for a moment, and we see the rest of you getting food, mingling a little bit. If there is any very specific conversation you wish to have, otherwise what I'm going to call for is a general, just like, kind of either charisma, or you could argue something else. If you want to connect with someone on a point, or if you're just kind of mingling in the background, watching people. And let me know what you wish to gain from this eating period without, going crazy.
Check or save?
It would be a charisma check.
Those that drank have advantage. Well, tips are.
Nope, that's only saves.
Damn it!
Okay. So, as the rest of you are making choices, Wenya with a 13, you do manage to connect with one or two bandits. They seem to be, they're not wary of you, but you can definitely tell that they are keeping an eye on your movements. And it seems that there's someone who has eyes on you at all points. But you do enjoy a meal. You enjoy a really good conversation, kind of connect over a couple of the things happening. And yeah, it's a pleasant experience. The food's delicious.
Awesome. How
here-
were the pigs prepared?
It was definitely some sort of, like, full-on roast.
So like whole and then filled with.
Yep. And, what's your wisdom?
Mod, or score in general?
Score in general.
11.
Okay. You know that, like,
Uh-oh.
pigs to be... No, you're fine. You know that pigs to be prepared like this, it takes time. It takes time. So, yeah, that's all you know. Pearlin, with a 16, you mingle a little bit better. It seems that several of the bandits have not necessarily, like, seen a Fearbulg before, and several of the ones that seem like a little bit younger have kind of flocked to you and are asking you questions about where you're from, asking you questions about what you do, asking if that's what, like, all Fearbulgs do, and so on and so forth. And you spend a little bit of time getting to know several of the younger ones.
I'm gonna start a child army to take over this camp.
Okay, and Leaf, how would you like to approach this?
Well, Leaf is not incredibly social, but he seems to have a way of people approaching him So he'll probably just look for not a quiet place in the party, but a slightly more open one. While after he's sort of done eating or nearly done eating,
Mm-hmm.
and if someone approaches him, he'll probably conversate with them.
Okay. At one point, Peter does bring you another mead, and because like he seems really excited about your reactions, and you actually one person who like talks with him and then like walks over to you and sits down and has a conversation, and it's a little bit of like a kind of quieter girl who seems to be Peter's younger sister, and she just like has a couple questions about brewing tips and things like that because he had like informed her that you were cool essentially. And so you like have just like a really pleasant conversation with her, and then after a couple of minutes another like person walks over and puts an arm around her shoulder as another kind of like young, more teenager-ish guy is like sitting and listening, obviously her partner, and enjoy getting to know them. So,
Right.
throughout the luncheon, you enjoy your food. Tustin does eventually get food, but is mainly kind of like watching around invisibly a little, still embarrassed by what happened there. And as people are kind of wrapping up, and you watch as several of the bandits like come around and gather all of the plates and so on and so forth, it seems like there's like some sort of rotation for who's in charge of the cleanup. Lyra actually kind of like, you watch as she climbs up Brennar. She literally scampers up this giant orc like he's a tree and stands on top of his shoulders. Like, does not fall, is not like piggybacking, like straight up, feet on shoulders, and like starts clapping her hands to get attention, goes, "All right. It is now time for a dagger throwing competition, followed swiftly by the three-legged race. Make sure that your drinks are flowing. I hope you have a great time, and we'll see you all over there in a little bit." And so with that, I think that the group is going to take a little bit of a quick break, and we will see you guys back in about 10 minutes. So at about the 40-ish a minute mark. And we'll continue on with this bandit competition. Alrighty, and we are back. So a little bit of a recap as to what has been happening in the last little bit. But the group has been found by the Naku Bandits. They went to their camp with them, kind of did a little bit of a, what do you know? What do you know? What are you here for? What are you here for? A little bit of a shakedown, and decided to come across a mutual trust at the moment and to continue as if they were being integrated into the bandit fold to see if they can trust each other through likability. And so the mead was broken out. The group has done a ropes course. They've had conversation. They've gotten to know some of the generals. They've gotten to know some of the other bandits, and you've just finished a luncheon. It's kind of like mid-afternoon, and a dagger throwing competition followed very quickly by a 3-legged race has been announced. And as several of the bandits clean up, and people seem to be grabbing more alcohol and moving on out towards a little bit of a bigger clearing, my question to you is, several of you are at the tipsy stage. Was there anyone who continued to drink after the obstacle course?
Not Lear. He knows. Well, he's been forced to learn no limit.
Okay.
I mean, only nursing this time, really enjoying as he eats. So
okay.
Yeah, same here.
that's what Leaf would be doing.
So,
He's chilling.
if you have not finished a beverage, then you do not need to roll. So when you like kind of finish it that it's like time. So, all right. So you come to a clearing, and it seems that there's a little bit of like archery posts set up, and you see like one of them has an arrow completely embedded in like the wood that holds it up, and they're a little bit closer than usual, and there's like a whole bunch of daggers that are kind of ready to go on the side, as well as you could throw your own if you would like. But my question to you is, who would like to participate in a dagger throwing competition?
I'll do it.
Fuck it, might as well join in.
I mean, my bro isn't much of a weapons guy. He has javelins for hunting on occasion. He'll join.
Okay.
Oh fuck, I'll bet it. Dagger to my.
Well,
So for those who are participating, we're gonna kind of not speed through this, but it's an ability check. Once again, Elara is not participating, she's watching. However, Lyra does kind of jump on up to the line, and you watch as she pulls like 3 daggers out of her pockets and hold them all in one hand. So, if you are participating, you get 3 shots at the case, or at the target. Thank you. So the first 2 are within the typical dagger throwing range, and the second one is right at the end of the far dagger throwing range. So for the sake of this, you are going to be making two like regular rolls and then 1 roll at disadvantage.
Okay.
Okay. Before I go and start making mine, can I investigate Elara, see specifically if she's using this to scout people?
You can. It wouldn't be an investigation check. It would be a insight check.
I'm happy with that.
Okay, so go ahead and roll me an insight check.
God damn, my guy.
So as you're kind of like looking at her, it's less of that she's hard to read, but she like begins to get into a conversation with one of the other bandits, and she's smiling at them, puts a hand on her shoulder, and so it's like it's hard to see because she's not watching. And then you kind of get like a little bit distracted and very into this what's happening. So
Okay.
but she just in general seems a little slippery. Alrighty, so with this, I would like everyone to roll me everyone who wants to participate to roll me 3 dagger checks. Just the to hit, it doesn't matter the damage. 2 at regular and 1 at the long range. Unless you have
we don't have
something that will negate that, such as sharpshooter.
Alrighty.
I'm gonna have to roll that again because I have disadvantage.
Yep, and then just give me, I will ask each of you your numbers at the end.
Can I use a bardic inspiration on the last one to give myself a D8?
Do you have that ability? I thought that was higher levels.
Nope. I have a bardic inspiration.
Yeah, I know, but you usually give that to other people. It's only, I think,
Over than yourself, yep.
lower bards who can give it to themselves, and it's like at level 14 or something.
Can we give each other bardic inspiration?
Absolutely you can.
Oh,
A
wait,
rat.
give me a second. I think I gave
yeah.
you something earlier this session, though, Archie. One of the first redemptions I did.
So what is
However, the bless is always on the first roll you do since then. So I don't
Okay.
know that
Oh,
he
yeah,
could
yeah.
carry it over. It's been
I
a
don't
little
even-
too long.
I
noticed
didn't
it.
even know I had bless.
what level bard are you, Archie?
I am level 6.
Okay.
I mean, I'll take it with disadvantage.
Let's see.
Okay. So, as the players
we'll
are
do the
doing
last
math, Wenya, you were the first one to go. So, for the sake of this, what was your first roll?
14.
Okay, so with a 14, you kind of end up on one of the outer rings, but you make it onto you hit the target. Why can't I remember that word? And then what was your second one?
It was a 28.
Okay, so with a 28, you are a dead bullseye on the second one. Right in the center.
And I'm gonna add, because we did give each other bardic inspiration, right, Archie?
Yeah, I could give.
Okay, I'm gonna
you
add a d6 to my third one.
Okay, go ahead.
If you get in mind, then it's a D8.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, go ahead and roll that d8 instead.
That is a 19.
19 total. So at the far range, you do manage to hit. You're not quite in the center circle, but you're right on the outside of it.
Okay.
Beautiful. Okay. Who is next? I think Pearlin dropped the things. So with the 16, Pearlin, you do manage to make it pretty good, like kind of in the second to inner ring. With a 14, you're on like one of the outer rings on the second target. And with an 18, you do manage to make it on the board in the far target, in one of the, like the second ring to the center. Okay. Leaf. So with an 18, you get pretty darn close to the center target. Not quite a bullseye, but almost there. With a 14, it's on one of the outer rings. And with a 9, you actually miss the target entirely. And I like to imagine, since you have muscles, that it's not that you undershoot, but you overshoot. And you actually throw just a little bit too much, and it, like, just barely misses the target and arches over just a little too far and gets embedded in one of the trees behind it.
Whoops. Oh well.
So Lyra, what she does is, as she throws the first one, it's just like a dead bullseye. Absolutely straight bullseye. And she, like, doesn't even look. She's, like, actually smiling at Elara and, like, chucks it, and it goes straight into the bullseye. And then with the second one, she goes into a one-handed cartwheel, and then kind of, like, jumps and chucks it at the second one. And it's not quite a bullseye. It's kind of in the second outer ring. And with the last one, she does, like, another kind of aerial flip trick. And it's a little impressive. And this time she actually, like, bends over backwards and flips it underneath her back, and it goes straight flying all the way down and manages to hit dead in the center of the last one.
Mm.
Alrighty. Is there anything else that you wish to absolve or be looking at or watching during this dagger throwing competition?
Hold on, I still need to throw mine.
Oh,
My last one. There we go. So that 15 for the first one, 16, then a 17.
Okay, so
Yeah.
with a 15, you're in like the second outer ring. And then with the what was the second one?
16.
With the 16, you're in that second outer ring again, and then with the last one with an 18, you actually managed to make it to the second ring to the center.
Not bad.
So, and as you're kind of watching the rest of these bandits throw, there's a couple that are pretty good at throwing the daggers, and then there is a couple that are like really bad. And one of them even grumbles and he's like, I wish I had my crossbow. And so you get the sense that there's a pretty widespread like ability score here. And some of them are good at it and some of them are not so good at it.
Hmm. Is there anyone who comes even close to Lyra's performance? And in this group?
No, I would not
didn't
say
think so.
Yeah, she definitely is far above and beyond them. Alrighty. Anything else that you wish to observe or information gleaned from this activity?
Once again, I'm after the event has ended, I'm going to see if I can determine if this is more purpose other than just fun and games.
Okay, go ahead and roll an insight check.
Come on, my guy, you can do it. Fuck's sake, 12.
She's a hard read, and it's like, even when she's watching her smile, like she's smiling, she has like a little bit of a smirk on her face all the time, and it's hard. It's very difficult to tell if this is for a deeper purpose, but like everyone seems to be having so much fun. So, a couple more drinks are poured. Some of the bandits seem to be partaking. The meat's flowing, and after about 15 minutes, the area is cleared. And several of them seem to be handing out like these long rags. Is there any conversation that they wish to have in the middle of this, or like past transition time?
In my head, well, in passing around anybody's head, I'm just going to go, I can't be certain, but I do not trust Elara watching at us. If you can, try underselling your abilities. Don't go all out. You cannot reply to these messages.
I have earring of message.
So you can reply.
You cannot reply to these messages. Everybody but Winder.
Wonder?
Winya.
Are you looking at the window?
I hate you
The
people.
window?
I hate you people.
To the window?
To the wall.
Okay. Winya, did you want to reply?
I was jokingly said no.
No.
All right, so it seems that people are pairing up for a three-legged race. Two of the pairs are like very drunk, and it's pretty funny to watch them. So one of them being the younger sister of the girl, or Peter, who you were talking to, Leaf. She looks like the meat hit her a little bit, and her boyfriend is watching her and looks just very amused and a little enamored at this. Like, he thinks it's hilarious. But everyone is pairing up for this random-ass three-legged race, and there seems to be tying their legs together. Would any of you like to participate? Or are you going to sit this one out and watch?
I'll participate.
Leaf will participate too.
Are you
I'll
pairing
join
up
before
with a
it
random bandit, or are you finding someone in your party to pair with?
Oh, Leaf would definitely be looking for a bandit to pair up with.
Hey, Tuscan, you can come with me. Come on,
Okay.
you need to show your woman how good you are at cooperation.
I'll look at him and be like, dude, just fucking shut up. right now. That's not fucking.
I mean-
don't do that.
I mean, why don't we have Tustin do it by himself? He can use his third leg. It is a three-legged race.
Oh God.
That's a vicious rumor.
Oh
I
my
think.
god.
I don't know.
I'll look
I don't
at
know.
them.
Take that as a compliment or as an insult.
Yes.
Would you like to pet up, or would you
Okay,
want
so.
to-
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
What were you saying, Charles?
I'm gonna look at Perlin and I'm gonna be like, would you like to pet up, or would you prefer to pick a bandit?
I mean, I don't care who I'm with.
Okay. I'll grab the cloth and just start tying our legs together.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. So,
You take me and
Leaf, are you looking for a very specific type of person, or are you just like anyone who's looking for a buddy?
He'll keep his options to males, I think, and not too sloshed. They're a little sloshed. It's all right. It's all fun.
Okay. Sounds good. Especially being a man of the cloth, I feel you. You managed to find one who seems a little bit shorter, who who looks like he could kind of like match you. He seems a little bit of one of the bulkier bandits. He kind of grunts at you, and when you inquire, yeah, we can pair up.
Name's Leaf. What's yours?
Hold on. I lost my generator. Where'd it go?
oh no!
Oh no, you have to come with a name on the fly
I
instead of using
know.
a generator.
Look at me go.
Every time you say leaf, all I can think of is Erickson.
Oh.
His name's Eric now.
God.
It's spelled the same way. It's the same name.
Okay, I'm glad I'm not crazy. Well, not crazy. That, yeah. Never mind.
Okay. He just kind of grunts out a little bit. He seems to be a little like less of a man for words and goes, Osborne, nice to meet you.
Ozzy?
Oh God.
Leif Erikson and odds.
Well met, then.
DM.
Yes.
Archie.
Two things. One, who?
Carolyn, the DM now?
I don't know.
No.
Two things. Which NPC is on the like finish line, like the judge of this race, right?
You actually see, Lyra is laying down on the ground, like, staring across the finish line, and that Brennar is, like, kind of standing over her a little protectively.
Okay. And secondly, I would have purposely took me and Tuskin, as we are tying our legs, to a bandit duo team. And I'll start talking to the closest one to either my right and my left.
Okay.
Nice to meet you. My name is Lear, and you are?
Solana, nice to meet you. It's so good to meet you.
Yes.
And this one, she looks a little, she's not, like, drunk, but she's definitely, like, had one or two. And then,
Perfect.
like, one leans over and just goes, Giovanna.
Solana, Giovanna, it's nice to meet you. This is a nice camp you have here, though I'm not so sure about the little one over there. What was her name again? Lave?
Lyra? Lyra's great. I love her. She brings just like a really awesome energy to like our leadership team. So like Lyra's awesome, but she like does all of the books and all of the important things like that. And Lyra just like has an energy about her, though she's pretty smart. So keep an eye on things.
Oh, well, it's just normally from my experience, especially dealing with people of higher standing, the smart ones, especially powder keg types like her, are generally hard to control and she has that giant orc that's always with her. I'm using basically words of terror on them.
Okay.
After a minute.
Okay, so you're trying to like intimidate them a bit?
No, words of terror. Once per short rest, you can speak. You can speak to a humanoid for at least a minute and cause them to be frightened of you or one creature of your choice. They must make a wisdom save, and for 1 hour they will be frightened of that target unless one of my allies hurts them.
So
God, if they're frightened,
here's
can't
the
move.
thing. I'll definitely allow this, but you're gonna need to turn the conversation towards something that would make them frightened of you. You've been talking about and getting information about the camp, not necessarily sharing information about yourself that would make them scared.
No, it's me or another creature. I'm trying to make them scared of Lara being she's wild.
I think I'm scared of the people
I
at the finish line
understand.
can't move closer.
Got it.
They can't get closer.
And
Or at least make it difficult.
so
That's evil. and I love
that
it.
is really evil. Hold on. Oh, jeez. I don't actually have any dice out right now. What is everybody has a
Wow.
everyone I've been rolling for has a character sheet. Or
And
Yeah.
some
more
sort of stat
specifically,
block.
because, and I quote, they've had 1 or 2, would they have disadvantage?
So the way that my rules work, what save is this?
This is a wisdom save.
Okay, so they would have disadvantage on this at the level that the first one is at. The second one does not seem affected. So she was not nearly as tipsy.
Can I add to that?
Sure, you're right there.
What I know, he's probably done this bullshit
Oh
trick
yeah,
before.
definitely.
I've probably seen him do this before. So I see the tone and the change and how he's saying it, and I'm like, oh, I know what he's doing. I'd like to use unsettling words on the more confident one, and just be like, I'd be like, dude, don't speak so loud. You know she can hear you, and you know the intel we got. I mean, and I'll fuddle with like, oh, you know, like I meant to say it on purpose, but
Oh, yeah, you're right. There is rumors. I have
Yeah.
the
we're
rumors
trying to
from-
get an in with them, right?
Yeah,
And
apparently.
yeah.
So what does
apparently
that
what-
do to the one who succeeded?
Oh, they just roll a d6 and take that away from their roll.
Oh, okay, cool. Hold on.
Yeah.
D6. Do you?
I will-
It's one of my bardic.
Okay, and what's your DC?
My DC is 17.
Okay, so with that, she does fail. And
Teamwork.
yeah, nice. So
And I want
go ahead.
and I want it to be very clear. It says until one of your until its allies attack it.
So she's now gonna be just permanently afraid.
Yeah, and they don't know why. For at least an hour.
That. So Solana kind of goes, oh well. Yeah, I mean she does have a lot of abilities that I don't understand.
And she
wonder-
does that around a lot.
Yeah.
I swear I saw a glint of lightning out of her.
Oh, I mean, yeah, you probably did. I mean, she does occasionally do some lightning magic. Maybe it's, hey, Giovanna, do you want to go get a drink? And Giovanna's like, nah, I'm okay. And then like Tustin chimes in. And she goes, yeah, let's go get a drink. And they just kind of hobble off, still tied together, and they abandon the race.
Oh, dang.
I just wanted them not to be able to move, but them being out of the race, that's even better.
Okay.
I'll
so,
just give you that silent like forearm bump, like nice.
Both at the same time, we're not even looking. We're like,
yeah, just like we got it.
So with that, with your partner, you can choose to make either an athletics or an acrobatics check, and you will each make one separately. And then you'll each make one separately, and then I will give you a bonus if you know each other well. So, and if
Charles
you
got
like feel
inspiration.
like you would work well together.
Charles got inspiration.
Yeah,
Right.
I saw. Okay, so, I guess let's start with Lear and Tustin since we are already there. Are you guys choosing to make an acrobatics or an athletics check? You have to agree.
I'm better at acrobatics. How about you?
Same. I'm actually proficient in it. So,
Oh,
yeah.
well, I'm only half efficient, but you know, same thing.
Okay, and then with that beautiful demonstration, I think you guys work together pretty well, so I will give you a +3 bonus.
Perfect. We argue
Yeah.
a lot, but we seem to get along pretty well. God damn, I needed that bonus.
Okay,
40.
well, no, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the average of the two, so that's 31 divided by 2 is 15
15 and a
plus 15 plus 3, so that's going to be an 18
Right.
total. Okay.
Hmm.
Sounds good. Okay. So then with Perlin and Winya, go ahead. Are you guys going to make an acrobatics or athletics?
What
It's
are
up
you
to you,
better
man.
at?
Acrobatics are only by a +2.
Okay, I have a +7 in both.
Well, should we go with
So-
the acrobatics then? Make it easier?
Yeah, let's go with acrobatics.
Alrighty. Boy, don't make me carry this team.
18 plus.
18. Because
18.
it's 5 away from both.
Okay, perfect. 18 average.
We have a bonus.
So I guess that's the question is how well do you two work together typically? Establish your relationship a little bit here.
You're also naturalistic, correct?
Yeah.
Figure we
Also, I
would.
mean, with the trickster, I'm assuming I'd get in touch with your dance a little bit at times.
Oh yeah. I think we would, pair up quite often to do more nature-based things as well as trying to, futz with each other during dance. So I feel like
Okay.
we'd work together pretty well in the past.
Okay, I will give you also a +3, so that's going to be a 21.
Anyway,
Damn it.
Okay, Leaf, would you like to argue athletics or acrobatics?
He's gonna go for athletics.
Okay, your team member also would like to go for athletics. So go
Perfect.
ahead and roll an athletics check for yourself. And then I will have you roll for him. Roll a d20, and it's going to be a +3.
Okay, 17 and 12.
So that is going to be a 29 is divided by 2 rounded down is going to be 14. Yep. And since you guys don't know each other at all, you got a 0. So with a 14. Alrighty.
That's not terrible.
Okay. So with that, for the sake of this, Perlin and Winya, you guys are stupid fast and very good at this. And you cruise through, you manage to pass everyone. It's actually really cool because like at one point, you see a group go down right in front of you and you like sweep around fully and like almost do a spin together. And like slingshot yourselves forward a little bit faster and are the first to cross the finish line. Followed shortly by, let me just check something. Okay. Followed shortly by Tustin and Lear. You guys are second. The rest of the bandits, there's 2 bandit teams that are pretty close on your tail, and then a couple more who trickle in after, which Leaf, you are a part of, like, the secondary group. So you're maybe, like, about 7th or 8th.
Okay.
And there's a couple that don't finish that just end up in the middle of the field and giggles, as one does with shenanigans like this. So,
Gotta love shenanigans.
at this point, about 2 or 3 hours have passed since the luncheon, and it's starting to get a little bit closer to night. There's snacks out. The feast is still going, so it's not like food got put away, but it's more just continuing. And the drinks are still flowing, and you hear kind of like off to the side, somebody announces some sort of storytelling competition.
Oh, please tell me I see those 2 girls walk as far away as possible from.
Absolutely. For the next hour, they are avoiding Lyra like the plague.
Oh, I wonder what got into them. You wouldn't happen to know, would you, Tuscan?
I don't know, man. I mean, they were just probably. I mean, there's a lot going on. Maybe they just can't handle it.
I think they had 1 too many drinks.
I don't like to lean on that, but a duck is a duck, or whatever the saying is. It's wet or quacks or something. I don't know.
Is there any conversation that you guys wish to have, or anything that you wish to do before the next event begins?
I would propose to Tuscan specifically, since he's an actor, shut up, that we do a almost duet of an Escarosa performance.
Ooh. I mean,
Oh, do it after proposing.
you're very proficient in a lot of the Escarosa performances, Tustin.
Yeah, we can do that. Okay. All right, we can do that.
Let's put on a good show, especially since this has to be our forte.
Sure.
Are there?
I have an
musicians?
idea.
Okay.
What about your makeup, lady boy?
No, he'll kind of just pull you aside, and it'll be like, "Hey, let's do this one." And
Yeah, they're planning it out, like
yeah.
thinking out what costumes to pick up.
Hey, DM.
Yes.
Are there any musicians in this bandit group?
Yes, actually, there are several. You see some of them who have been kind of like pulling out. There's like a little jam session going on in the corner. A lot of them are very rustic instruments.
Okay. So they would fit very well with capoeira.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm gonna see if I can get their help in the storytelling.
Okay. So, yeah, I would say make a persuasion check. And you haven't drank at all.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, so with a 19, they get so on board, and actually one of them's like, "Yeah, dude, like I'm trained in this, like I know it." And he was like, "Hold on," and he like brings in the rest of them, and a couple of the drummers like get really like into it, and you can start to hear them beginning to build on some of the rhythms just as they practice a little. Bless you.
Did you say you were trained in the music or the dance?
Oh, the music.
both.
I don't know the dance, man.
Okay. Okay. Never mind then.
Alrighty. Pearl Leaf, are either you going to participate or are you going to be audience members?
I'll join the audience for this one.
Leaf?
Drinks. More drinks.
Okay.
Are you
So-
gonna be participating or watching? Drinks.
Drinks.
Absolutely valid. Fair and valid. Okay, so as you guys kind of fold into the audience, Peter comes and hands you another glass of the ice wine, or the honey wine, and kind of sits down next to you. You guys are like buddies now. And like kind of leans across and hands you one too, Pearlin, if you want it. He's like, eh?
I'll take it.
Cool. So the rest of you begin a performance, and you're kind of second or third. So you listen to a story about like a harrowing tale of a great heist that one of the people tells, and then you also listen to another, like an older gentleman who seems to be kind of like the grandfather of the group vibes. And he's like a little grizzled, but he tells the story of like a great hunt. And Pearlin, it kind of tickles you a little bit in the sense of like, this feels a little fey. Like, I recognize a story like this. It's not quite the same, but it's very similar. And then Wenya, it becomes your turn. And so kind of paint me just like a little bit of a picture. How does this look? Where does this go? And because you rolled such a high persuasion check, you have pretty decent background music.
Okay. I'd probably tell one of the myths of my people. Probably involves, and this isn't anything to do with the jokes that I was making with Lyra. It's probably some kind of story revolving around a couple, whether it's being kind of an Orpheus and Eurydice idea or something to that effect, probably.
Okay. For the sake of this, I'm going to have you make 2 checks. So you can make a history check to see how well you can recall this story and this history in order to embellish on it enough, unless you would like to rather make a deception check to fill in the blanks. And then I'm going to also have you make a persuasion check.
Would I have advantage on that history since it's a myth of my people?
Yeah, I'll allow it.
Okay, I have a 9.
Cool. And then go ahead and roll me a persuasion check. And then I'm going to add some points because you got the background music and it's pretty freaking cool.
Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
Because it wasn't performance.
It can be performance if you want it to be. Persuasion
let's
is
do
more
that.
of like the word telling, but if you would rather it be more of a performance and kind of slip into that storytelling aspect, I absolutely will allow a reroll for that.
That's kind of what I was imagining it being as,
Okay.
like, focusing on the words, but also kind of slipping into that more storytelling.
Yeah, love it.
Why am I rolling sub?
Did you talk to
5 right
Sly today?
No, well, dang it!
Did you?
Yes, in the middle of session.
No! You were doing so well before this too. You had that nat 20.
I know.
The dice giveth and the
Are you
dice
in the
taketh
middle of
away.
the session?
We're in the
I
break.
mean, honestly, with a combined score of, I was adding a 5 for the drums, so you have a combined score of 21, 26, so that's pretty good. That's not bad.
Okay.
So, the audience seems to be pretty enthralled. You see a couple people around the edges, like, slipping away after the old man's story and, like, seem to be getting more drinks and so on and so forth. And, like, so you lost a couple on the fringes, but the rest of them seem to be pretty infatuated with what's happening.
Okay.
Alrighty. So, Tustin and Lear, since you guys are working together, I'm going to either have you roll separately or have you pick one person to have advantage. So first of all, tell me what are you doing? Paint me a little bit of a word picture.
First of all, before during the little conversation of me and Tusk can plan now, could I try to figure out if they, with the story of Every, like the romantic aspect or the history aspect of it more?
What do you mean?
Like Reverie story was a very romantic, tragic story about her and Dove, right?
Yes, it was. And it was tragic in the beginning, and then it kind of became a little bit more of like a high adventure with like the romance sprinkled in, and then it was a very romantic end. So it was a little bit of everything. It's a very well-rounded story.
Okay. With that, I would recommend we do a more a story based around not another one of the scallywags, but one of the more not lesser known, but I can't help it, but
I know, I'm sorry, you just said the scallywags and my heart melted a little bit. I missed the group. Okay, sorry, carry on.
but a more like underappreciated story of like loss, adventure, and coming of character.
Okay. I would say that you were able to come across one pretty easily. If you have one in mind, otherwise you could just say, we could just be generic.
Yeah, I don't have like one in mind, but
Okay.
yeah, you know.
So loss, love, finding themselves, the classic tropes, these things.
Yeah. And what's your
Justin would
performance,
have a
my guy?
catalog. Well, I'm pretty decent at it. I have a 13 in performance.
I also have a 13 in performance.
All right. So I would also like to say I'm gonna set us up because I'm gonna come in as a narrator first with a cloak, and I'm gonna prestidigitate all the fires out, and I'm gonna walk in with a torch, and I'm gonna light a fire, and I'm gonna cast pyrotechnics, and it's gonna be the whole big fucking smoke and light show. I have minor image, I have all sound guy, and also that.
Yeah, I'm also going to use like minor illusion, prestidigitation to make like colors or eyes change, and even thunderclap for, like loud, dramatic parts of the story.
Love it. I guess my question to you guys, are you guys choosing to go last?
I think
Oh,
so.
absolutely. You have to save the
Yeah.
best for
Okay,
last.
cool. And
Yeah.
then are you
There's prep
drawing
time,
this
too.
out? Everyone else was doing kind of like a 5-ish, 10-ish minutes or less. How long are you going?
At least
would
half the
say-
story.
I would say Tustin, being the performer he is, knows how to do quick shows. So I'd say probably a 10 or 15 minute.
Okay, so you're
Well-
gonna go a little bit longer.
Yeah, but
Just a
I would
smidge.
say Escarot, me being trained by the Escarotas, would want to draw out especially the more integral parts of the story, like the main core of it.
Okay.
So I imagine you're sitting there going, "Yeah, we got to do this," and I'm like, "We got to reel them in. We got to cut like 10% of that out. We gotta make it hot and sexy and fast. We can't be sitting there. They're bandits,
Meanwhile, we're putting
man."
our makeup on with our
No,
disguise kits.
it's just this whole fucking thing. I'm like, no. Hit these points. Don't hit that. I was like, trust me, that'll sell. That'll do good. These are bandits. They're not crazy like theater
Okay.
goers like that shit. We gotta make it hot.
Okay, but the leader knows about the story, so we have to at least emphasize
Sure.
this part.
Right. So, and we just fucking
We're all motoring in the
Mesh.
corner while everybody else is putting on
Okay.
performance.
I
Yeah.
love every single part of this. So for the sake of this, you're pulling from Lear's history and his knowledge. And Tustin, I would say you're pulling from your experience. So I will let you choose if this is going to be for the first one. If you want to, so Lear, you're gonna roll history for the first check. Tustin, you can choose history or performance for even the first check because you're drawing on your history of performances.
I'll do performance.
Okay.
But I'm gonna look at Larry and be like, "Hey, you got
Hmm?
this. And you get bardic inspiration."
Yeah, I do. And hey, you did good with helping me out with those two. Oh, look, there they go now. But look, you're the actor here. I am the stagehand. You got this. I'm gonna give you bardic inspiration.
Okay, so keep in
Two
mind.
bards? Fucking broke.
A little bit. There's 3 bards in the party, guys. So there's 2 tiers to this. There's the first tier of the putting together the story. So I said Lear's gonna do history, and Tustin, you can pull from either history or performance, and then you're both gonna make a performance check. And then because of all of the pyrotechnics and all of the shit you're doing, I'm going to give it a bonus. So go ahead and roll me the first rolls.
Alright, so that's history for me. I can't see that my
29.
dice is. Fuck's sake! I need to use that. God, I need to use that inspiration. What's your dice?
It's a 6.
I could get 15. I'll take a 13.
Okay, so we have a 13 and a why do you have advantage on your performance check?
I think it's just clicked it,
Oh,
so
okay.
it's a 28.
So
My bad.
that's okay. So that's an average of 20.5 for your first one. And then you can make a performance check, and I will let you choose if one of you is going, or if you're each going to make it separately, and I'll take the average again, or if you're going to choose one person with advantage.
We both have 13. Do you want to make it separate or?
We'll just do it together.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll. Oh wait,
Alright.
you already used your bardic inspiration. I haven't, so I'll make the roll.
Okay.
Yeah, you make the roll.
Beautiful. Go with advantage, and then add your bardic inspiration, which is a D8 for you, right, Archie?
Yep.
All right.
He gets the big dice. Oh, baby, do it.
I'll
Make it
see you
extra big.
guys- I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm out.
Get an 8. Get an 8.
Roll
We're
the
not gonna see you tomorrow.
Roll the
Roll the d8.
Oh my
Please,
goodness.
When are you gonna
please,
see us
make it
tomorrow?
41. Damn it.
It's
Okay.
close.
And
Close.
I was giving you a plus 12 for the fuck ton of magic. But
You just
please,
blew their
please
socks
do
off.
keep in mind if you
48? Damn.
please do keep in mind that if you are expending spell slots, I need you to expend those spell slots. So go ahead and make a character choice if you are expending anything above a prestidigitation. And I think you said pyrotechnics, so you have to at least expend that one for me.
Yep, that's 2. Yep, for
Yeah.
sure.
So that's a total of, because I did the average for the first one, whatever the second one is, and then I gave you that bonus for 12. So that's a total of 60.
69.
Say the number.
I didn't even have to try too hard on
Of
that
course
one.
it
That
did.
was
Oh
pretty good.
my
It's
god!
too bad.
I mean-
69.
I mean, you
every
could just say
time.
that 69 income's natural to you, John.
It does. Man.
It does.
It's dinner for two. It's good.
Exactly. The two bads, we get it together every time.
Oh, dear
It's a
Lord.
natural
You're
pair.
happy, only your
It's a natural
camera's
pair.
showing.
That was absolutely fantastic. Okay, so with this, the entire camp is enthralled. Like, people come, and you actually, for the first time, see the whole of the bandits all in one place. So, for those who are kind of paying attention in the background, you get a number. You can count that there is roughly, there's the 3 generals, and there seems to be roughly about 27 other people. So 30 in total.
6 piece, got it.
Yep. And so, as you're kind of like paying attention to that, and everyone is watching, and actually, Tustin, you make eye contact with Elara.
Of course I do. Of
And
course I do.
like, this is the first time you're not blushing, and you begin to tell her the story. And you actually see her walls fall down. She was kind of like holding up the same swagger that you always do, and she becomes enthralled, and you just see like a little, like, the heart of the girl.
I whisper
loves
into
the
his
story.
mind. I whisper into his mind. Do it. Seal the deal. Wink at her. Charm her. Off the rocks.
Do it. I thought you mean do her.
Or
As an actor, you need to sell the performance. Sell it to her. You cannot reply to this message.
I feel like you add that onto it like we don't already know people in this room.
Well, the best thing is I'd be looking at her and you wouldn't be able to see me, so you'll never know if I do it or not.
I know, but I just trust that he does.
Do you?
And I respect the story too much. I respect her too much. I won't sully this, but I will piggyback off this later. Trust me. The wink's coming. It's just delayed. So
Mm-hmm.
the only-
So with that, you guys, like, hands down, one of the like other bandits comes on who had been kind of like emceeing this whole thing and is like, all right, and where's the cheers for this one? Because it's like an audience, like whoever gets the loudest clap. And they have kind of like a minor illusion, and they like play the cheers back for all of the different groups at the end. And you guys win hands down. No contest. Absolutely none. So with that, it is essentially sunset. The drinks are flowing. Oh, and with that, Pearlin and Leaf, you both consumed another beverage, so if you would.
Yep. I'm always willing to
Constitution
make the worst
save.
saves.
Okay, Leaf, you're fine. You're still just... were you
Okay, that
tipsy?
one's
I don't even remember.
no.
Okay. Pearlin, so the alcohol is a little bit heavier on this one, and it hits you a little bit harder. Were you tipsy previously?
Nope.
Okay, so you are now tipsy. So you have advantage on Christmas saves and any save against becoming frightened. Alrighty. So, you kind of see, like, after a little bit, that the people seem to be reining it in and kind of trickling off. Several are, like, getting into small groups to have conversations, and this seems to be just, like, a little bit of a lull in the festivities. Elara did say that you would be kind of called for the last little bit of your trial right at dusk. So, is there anything that you wish to do, any conversation that you wish to have in this lull moment?
I feel like it's only fair that I group up with Dusk and go, now we could have done this part better. There's that circling out notes I took. Like, he was pretty flat on this
Damn, if this
delivery.
party ever breaks up, these two are going on a two-man show.
I'm gonna like turn to him and just put my hand on him and be like, not now.
Shut up.
Not now.
It's literally my job.
I know. But shut the fuck up right now. And I'm gonna go walk over to Elara.
Okay. You do, and she's leaning against a tree, and she's kind of like holding a goblet, and as you kind of approach, you see that it has wine in it. not wine that's been served around here. She has her own stash somewhere. And she's holding it kind of like from the top and looking at you, and she watches and holds eye contact with you the entire time you're walking over.
All right, intimidated again. 10 out of 10. Nice. I'll walk up to her and just, well, what did you think?
Not only did you prove that you knew the classics, but you also did a good job at it.
How close was it?
I mean, there's only so much you can do when you're condensing a 2-hour production into a span of 15-ish minutes, as well as, you know, holding the attention of all of the people here.
Yeah, all 30 of you. You guys definitely got a nice thing going here. And if, I mean, this is your, like, hey, let's have a party, and I like it. It's wonderful.
Are
I
you
was wondering.
Are you being genuine with that compliment?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. You see just like a little bit of a squint, like she's checking you, and then like seeing how genuine you are, she like gives you a full real smile.
There we go. And I'll just kind of be like, I mean, I'd love to learn the real stories. Or, I mean, maybe make some new ones.
I really, really, really hope that you don't betray me, because I like you.
You said it. You too.
He's in.
What's this thing in the morning? You said, like, I mean, you don't, I get it. Don't give me an advantage, but, like, what do I got to look forward to in the morning?
Well, not necessarily in the morning. It's more of a when it happens, but, we're doing our last little hazing, if it were, and then we'll probably pull you aside for a little bit of a conversation, just to check in to see where we're at, if that trust has been built. And then we'll see where things are at.
Is there another tree I could lean up against? Because you said she was sitting on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll lean up and be like, okay, any pointers? Anything you, I mean, I've never done this before. I'm a little nervous.
She smirks a little bit, like, kind of like a, heh. To it, just be honest.
I think I can do that for you.
And not, like, hiding honesty. Like,
Do you feel like I've hidden anything from you? Minus the invisibility thing earlier. That was embarrassment.
oh no, I know. It was endearing.
Suck at ropes. I'm just saying. I have not encountered a lot of rope maneuvers in my life, though. So I'm just going to put that out there. Ropes might be a bad test. Like planks, small ledges, way better. You know, just, you know.
Well, that's
idea.
okay. I'm very proficient at ropes.
Oh, damn!
Yes.
My mama warned me about girls like you. Obviously, right?
Yes, please.
You'll get a smile from him, and he'll be like, well,
Hell yeah!
you know, I could use a good tutor then. I'll see you in the morning, and I'll give her like a little bow, and yeah, and I'll kind of flip up my coattails and, you know, make my way out.
You see like a genuine grin from her as you walk away. You have a pretty high insight, right?
You would think that. Tussin does not have a very high
Oh,
insight.
okay. Then
He's all bravado. No brain.
okay. Good to know. Good to know.
He just thinks he's the shit all the time.
Yeah. Alrighty. So, with that, is there anything else that any of you guys would like to do before we move on to the next bit?
I can't lie. Lear's probably got every like bandit that took place in the storytelling thing out and go, well, listen, for the next performance, I feel like this will be your more strong suit, and he's going through like everything that he's been taught. Like, here,
Okay.
we're gonna put on this level of performance.
With that, you get two people who are like actually intrigued, and both of them were like the drummers who performed with Wenya, who are like into it. And they're like talking about it, and they're like getting all into it. And then like 3 of the other people who are sitting there, because like everyone else kind of trickled off, are just drunk. And they're swaying a little bit, and one of them's like giggling at you, and it's pretty funny.
Hey,
Listen,
you were the one who did that.
Yeah, it's just like that.
listen, I feel like if you definitely have a lot more of a precision with your percussion. I feel like if you was a bit more on the emphasis of the beats and you was definitely a bit more of a backing track, it would make the performance 14 times at least better.
Love it.
Nerd.
Love it. Thank you for that was RP I did not know I needed. Alrighty. So with that, as the sunset happens, Lyra actually comes around and collects you all and pulls you aside and actually like has you follow her, and she climbs one of the ladders up into the treetops, which none of you necessarily like were barred from, but it was kind of like everyone was purposefully keeping you on the ground, and you didn't necessarily realize that until this moment. And you're pulled kind of towards one of the trees that's in the middle. There seems to be only one bridge going to it, and it has a little bit of a larger like treehouse that's 2 stories. Or actually, it's almost 3 stories, but like 2 of them are kind of half stories on top of in different parts of the trees. And she pulls you in there, and it seems to be like a really cozy, like, I don't want to call it a throne room, but you get like throne room vibes, where it's like there's a couple chairs at the front and a couple of benches, and then like a table kind of off to the side, and she leads you to the table. And after a couple of moments, there's like some snacks on the table still and stuff like that. And after a couple of moments, Elara comes down from above and like kind of swings down. It's like a fireman pole essentially, but made of wood. And she like swings down the fireman pole and lands with very softly and stalks up to the table. And you see Brennar like comes in the door and shuts it and stands in front of the door. And it's just you and the 3. All right. So this is the last trial, the thing that all of us go through when we officially join the bandit group. And this doesn't necessarily mean you have to make the official choice. It's just our last chance to air any grievances, to ask any questions, and to kind of figure out where we're gonna go from here. And then in the morning, we'll make a decision. And she pulls from behind her back a bottle, and she slams it on the table a little bit, and Lyra kind of appears out of nowhere, and she places a glass in front of each of you. So this is a specialty, something that my mother makes. Used to make. And it's a licorice root alcohol, per se. It's pretty strong, so just be careful.
It's Jaeger.
Essentially. And she pours a little bit for each of you.
Ads.
That's fine.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Thank you. So she pours a little bit for each of you.
I'm gonna connect to people's heads, well, mainly Winya, because I know they can speak back, and say, if you have a subtle giveaway, please do it to agree with this. But right now could be a perfect point to ambush, but I'm not too sure if we want to do that. You cannot reply to this message, obviously.
God damn it.
So I'm waiting for like little like finger flicks or anything subtle that wouldn't be normal for characters to see if they would
So
agree on an ambush.
keep in mind with message, you cannot you have to whisper.
It's not message, it's telepathic.
Yeah, no, I'm saying that for Wenya.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, he could do subtle remarks too. It's the same message.
you would know what this is. For half a second, maybe the blink of an eye even, you see a purple tint to my tattoos. You think it may be the trick of a trick of the light, but the group would know that this was a tell for no.
I'm waiting for other no's.
I just subtle shaking my head, like, cause I'm gonna fake like smelling it first. Oh shit, okay.
Same here.
Leaf?
So we're supposed to give.
Lear was
If you
essentially saying, like, this would be a really great point for an ambush. Are we going to ambush them? And when
Leaf.
yeah.
Yeah, Leaf would kind of do a bit of a thinker, as it were, before, almost as if to himself, shaking his head.
With that, acting no different, Lear's gonna go to the wine and go, interesting blend. Who did you say crafted this?
My mother.
So it's a one of a kind, basically.
It is. And there's only enough bottles. And it's only brought out for this.
Sorry if I offend, but I have to be particular with my wines, so...
It's less of a wine and a little bit more of a licorice moonshine, if it were.
Oh,
God damn, we're gonna.
I would tear that stuff up.
It's
Dude, that
Is a
you're
what-
making me thirsty. That shit sounds
Okay.
delicious.
Regular
Still.
licorice or black licorice?
it's thick, it's a little gross, in my opinion, and it's meant as our final moment here. A little bit of a cheers to a pleasant conversation, and then we're gonna get into the gritty of it.
In one queen sweep, he takes the drink and go, no offense, that goes down like pine tar.
Okay. Do the rest of you drink?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
On save.
Yep, I need a constitution save from each of you.
Man,
We're
if
talking about.
if she double crosses us, man, I'm really gonna be heartbroken.
I don't know what
swear
you're
to
talking about, Lear. I've tasted some really good pine tar.
God. Leaf's like, it's okay.
It's not the best.
I got a 19. Oh shit.
I got a
Yeah.
10,
Oh
Yeah,
no.
Taylor's fucked up.
Oh.
Okay. So
and I'm already tipsy.
Yep. Was anyone else tipsy or just you?
I was tipsy, but I feel like
I think
I
a few
passed.
people-
I
we're
feel like
tipsy.
it's been a while.
I was tipsy.
Okay. Nick, if you would check your DMs, please, and thank you. All right.
Oh, this is a DM one.
So, with that, you swallow it. It goes down your throat. Who does anyone have a 10 or more in Arcana?
Arcana?
Arcana.
Let's see.
A bonus of a 10 or more.
No.
If you
Nah.
divide 10 by 1, if you divide 10 by 10.
Yeah, same. John.
I got a 4.
Okay. Sounds good. I don't know if Tustin does. We'll ask him when he gets back.
Tustin didn't go to school, so you're good.
Okay,
No.
cool. I wasn't
Yeah,
sure.
school.
There's skill monkey. So with that, she kind of looks at you all. All right. I'll be honest. And she turns the chair around backwards and sits down and like
Shit.
leans on the table on her hands. I'll be honest. I know you're not here to join us. I know that you're chasing something. And I have a sneaking suspicion I know who sent you. Because one of our bandits disappeared after we raided on his, I sent a green group. It was not a smart decision. But they raided his carts and caravan, and one of them disappeared. And I feared the worst, and I assumed the worst, but I was hoping that he wouldn't give us away. Seems that he did. However, I'm very grateful that he gave away the space to the, the trial, because at least gave you a little bit of an appreciation for what we do, as well as would have killed, I'll be honest, anyone who wasn't skilled enough. So I knew what we were dealing with when you arrived. But I don't get any malicious intent from you. So tell me, honestly, who sent you, and what are you looking for? And her hazel eyes, like, pierce into each of yours. And there's actually, like, in this lighting, it's a little bit lower, there's, like, a flash of green.
Holding my tongue.
Are you, like, literally? 'Cause I
No,
gotta-
not literally. But not literally, just like not even puffing up cheeks, just mentally trying to keep myself from saying anything.
I don't
Well.
speak for the group.
We are chasing something, as you've said. Although I'll let you know, we didn't have any hand in your missing man's fate. Truth be told, I don't know what his fate is. Because I don't think we do. I
No,
mean,
we don't.
we can
You don't?
assume he's dead, but he could
We
just
were
be
just
being held
told-
somewhere.
You don't know?
But
No, we was just told that the location of the trial, which we didn't know was a trial.
All right.
I will communicate with Tuscan again in his head. You're the best with words.
But
Reveal as much.
Go ahead. Sorry, finish your thing.
Reveal as much information as you thought. I'll try to dive their minds, if needed.
But I can say this. Unless information was withheld from us, he didn't give away your home. Only a trial chamber. And that's commendable.
And does he know the location now?
Well, I'm not the best with words.
It's a yes or no question. Did you tell him the location?
Did we?
I don't think we did.
No.
I don't know. It's
I
been a
think we
few
said
weeks
we had
since I
a
played this.
lead, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, some other
just-
people have seen the map.
Yeah, some people seen like where the area that we're going is, but not the location.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
So-
yeah.
Are you using your ability?
I'm gonna have to use a spell slot for this, but yes, I shall dive the surface level of the mind first.
And what school of magic is detect thoughts?
That spot, I'm pretty sure, is divination.
So
let's
Information
see.
or-
Yeah, divination.
So as you do this, you expend the spell slot, and you're met with a wall.
Ooh.
Debbie just hit the wall.
You can't even get a surface level thought read on her. And it seems, and you feel the spell fizzle. It does not seem to work in this space.
Well, shit. Do you mind if I make a performance check real quick?
Sure.
Yeah, he's still holding himself together, but he is going bouncing around everybody's head like spells of divination. They kind have no effect on him. There's definitely a magical aura around this. He is definitely in mental head, having a bit of panic in his thought.
Okay, so John doesn't remember all the details, but Tustin probably does. So Tustin will speak up and just kind of be like, well, I told you we were in acquisitions when we got here. Not a lie. Obviously, and you said, be truthful with you, don't hide anything, so we won't. Yeah, we were hired to find something. Funny thing is, guy didn't even know what the hell it was, just that it was lucrative, which I think is still true, right? He didn't know exactly what it was, correct?
That's what he told you. And
Yeah,
that's actually what
so-
she says to you.
Yeah.
That's what he told
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
But he knows.
Well, I mean, yeah. Okay, well then if he knows, he's definitely playing his cards close to his chest. One, I'll be honest, I took this A because it's a job, B, I like money, and, well, obviously you can see my respect for the subject matter. I like it. However, I mean, if he's just paying us to rob you, doesn't mean we can't rob him back. I mean, we could turn it in, get the reward money, and then, you know what happens after that? It's not on us anymore.
Leaf looks at you a bit disapprovingly.
I'm just saying. Yeah, he's looking at you. And he's like, ah, man, I made him. He's like, ah.
Well,
he's just like,
let me ask this. Did Eirwin approach you by himself, or did he work through a guild?
So she knows. Yeah, she knows specifically who hired us. Then, right?
yeah.
Hmm?
He went through our guild. We're all guild members.
All right. Well, you had a chance to attack us here. You didn't. I assume you're telling the truth. Although, I don't know exactly which of you have the ability to and which of you don't. Let me tell you a little story. One night, my mother came back, barely conscious, being dragged between several of our members. And she was inflicted with a horrific wound across her chest that was heavily infected. And we have several people who can do some sort of magic. Removing poison doesn't help it. Removing a curse didn't help it. And I managed to identify it as a Feywild poison. It was going to kill her. However, she somehow had the antidote specifically. Now, this antidote didn't heal it fully. It just suppressed it for a very short amount of time, about a 24-hour period. I administered it to her. She didn't tell me exactly what the artifact did, but she asked me to take her north. I'm sorry, I said it was a 24-hour period. It negated it for about a week. I apologize. I read my notes wrong. She grew weaker as we traveled, and we came to this mountain pass, this entrance in between. It was very hidden, and things felt very weird there. And my mother told me that she had intentions to hide the artifact in the sanctuary here and offer her life to protect it.
Mhm.
The person who hired you, who wants this artifact back, cannot be trusted. She said on her deathbed before I knew to administer the antidote that it was the only thing. He's more than it seems. It cannot be trusted. Over and over again. And even without that, we've been able to prove a long history of embezzlement, of bribery, of dubious magic, charms, and various poisons and things that have kind of put him where he is right now. And a man like that doesn't belong in the government here. Is not worthy to protect the free people, is not worthy to fight for them. That's why we operate outside of the law. So that we have the ability to do this. And I'm sure since you, and she nods at you, Tustin, know of my mom's history, you know that she doesn't rob from the poor. You know who she targets. And you, she motions to Lear, well, you can't know for sure whether I'm telling the truth that we don't rob from your family. You know what your family does, and maybe you don't know how much they help others, and how much they make sure that those who get involved in the arts are taken care of and taken care of well, and use that to give and to help, rather than holding on to their wealth for themselves. That is why we help them.
He's constantly just cleaning his hands, trying to think.
Okay. So, let me tell you this. Eirwin should not have the artifact. It was in his hands that these things were happening, and obviously it's something that he wants back, oh, so badly.
God damn it, Nick!
It's
It's not battle time yet!
I didn't even think about the.
It's cool. It's totally fine. That was hilarious.
That happened in game. That's real.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going
Roll
into battle.
initiative. No, I'm just joking. I know that you only have my words. And I know that you've heard the other side of the story. And there's only so much that I can say to make you believe me. But I'm telling the truth. And what I want, now that you're here and you haven't made the decision to attack us to take us out, and maybe you will make that decision still, but you're surrounded and that would be really dumb, despite your power. You guys are pretty great. I think I can't go into the mountain pass. I gave my mother my word. And you, she looks at you, Perlin, understand that when you give someone your word who's connected with the Feywild, you can't break it. She did not say that I couldn't send others in. And if you bring me the artifact, I would have a chance to take him down. And to take down the entire Eirwin family. There was only a couple of things my mother was afraid of. And he was one of them. So when you rolled an insight check, so throughout her conversation, you get the sense that a lot of her swagger and bravado has dropped in this conversation, and she seems to be 100% genuine with you.
Yeah.
And that's
Once
the
the
extent
bravado
you get.
dropped, I was, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's the extent you get from a 9. If anyone else would have liked to have been passively or actively watching her, I will allow that.
Fuck it. Why not?
Question.
We're doing insight
Yes,
specific.
answer while they're rolling.
She mentioned that Eirwin was
God damn it.
corrupt and was
My fucking guy.
embezzling and all that.
Yep,
Dang,
How similar to
that's a great nat 1.
that's a beautiful
Does-
now one.
that sound to what was happening in Iga before the war started?
Very. Very similar.
This is something new for the most of y'all. A red streak goes throughout the entirety of Winya's tattoos.
Really should have just moved the pass.
Okay. Yeah. There is some, and actually they glow for a moment, and it like permeates, and you see the red like kind of go throughout some of the cracks in his skin before he takes a deep breath and it recedes.
What's that? Cracks.
Yeah, because he's
Earth Genasi.
Earth Genasi. So like think like
Mhm.
rock. It like he
Mhm.
has the tattoos and they kind of look like they're glowing through the rocks, but like that expanded. So there was a little bit more there. Okay, so Pearlin with that nat 112. That's crazy.
Should have just used my passive.
What's really funny to me is I think that you're concentrating on not opening your mouth. And you're concentrating so hard that you're like half listening to what she's saying. And I love that for you. Lear, you get the same thing that I told Wenya. She seems very genuine, her bravado has dropped. Leaf with a 23. The genuinity extends. You've seen a lot of people when they are wrapped in grief, when they are wrapped in anger, and when they have just like this sense of righteous judgment. She believes that she is right. She believes that this man is evil. And yes, there is a little bit of a tinge of revenge. She wants revenge for her mother. She wants revenge for her people. But there's also a sense of like, she believes that this man is going to destroy Rosewick and the world at large. And she's going to do everything to stop him. And that is her life mission. And she believes that this artifact is the key. And there, you still get a sense of like she's laying her cards on the table, and she doesn't fully trust that you're gonna go for it, but she's taking a chance. She's gambling.
Take a chance on me.
Casually singing Ava in the background.
Of course you are.
I can see a deep truth in your eyes. But now that you've told us this, what can you tell us about the artifact?
That's the thing. In the time that I was traveling with my mother, it was just her and I and the artifact. I could feel it. I could feel it on her. She was naturally just, as you said, Tustin, very beautiful, but it was almost unearthly. And I listened to her judgment. She was a phenomenal mother, even though we disagreed on a couple of things in the, the youthful teenage years. But I wanted to do nothing more than to listen to her when she had it. And the other thing that I noticed as I sat outside the mountain pass and waited and waited and hoped for days that she would come back, I watched as things grew, things changed. Mushrooms popped up out of nowhere, large flowers grew, and even things grew backwards. They started from decay, grew to full bloom, and then went to new sprouts. I don't know exactly what it does, but I know that it is powerful. And if what I know about my mother is to be believed, she's not from this plane.
Would that then entail that the Eirwin family aren't as well?
I don't know. I would suspect so, considering she said that he's not what he seems. He's more than what he seems, and he cannot be trusted. That was something she always told me, is you're more than what you seem.
Well, I understand your predicament, and I do hear your plead. But as you said I am a representative of the Escarosas, and I must uphold the honor. I will follow my party and held judgment. But personally, there is no guarantee I will side of you.
She nods at you.
Now, you've done your best to explain why this artifact should not be in his hands. But I can see that there is a righteousness behind your words and eyes. But I can also see that you, and understandably, of course, seek this course of action for revenge. Why should it be delivered into your hands?
I will be
Why
frank.
not simply carried away?
I will be frank. I do wish revenge upon him for killing my mother. I do. And I'm sure that many of you would feel the same about those that you cherish most. And she actually very specifically makes eye contact with you, Lear. It seems that she is pegged that you really cherish someone in your family that you talk so highly about. However, artifacts are like knowledge. When wielded correctly and wielded with a pure heart, they can do good. When wielded poorly and with evil intent, the havoc that they can wreak. So I guess it is your judgment about whether my heart is pure and my intentions are pure and that I care about the people of this land, or whether his are.
BM,
Yes.
I'm gonna ask something, and I want your ruling on this.
Okay.
The Tet Fort spell.
Mhm.
It says I can attempt to dive deeper. I know there's a blockade, but if I attempt to quote unquote dive deeper to get the surface level forts, would you allow that? Like force my way through it, or is it completely blocked off?
I will tell you, it is completely blocked off. So you can try, and you do get a complete blockage. And actually, if you want to make an Arcana check to kind of figure out, like, what the fuck is happening here, we can see if maybe you've picked up on something.
Oh, I'll make that Arcana check. No, I will not make that Arcana check.
You're kind of just a little too flabbergasted by everything that's being said about the fact that your spell's not working. There's some magic here, and yeah, you have no clue what the magic is.
What kind of magic?
Okay.
I didn't even talk to Smell today. It's okay, I'm getting all my low rolls out for tonight.
Alright. And so she says that. Am I pure? Is he pure? And you're the ones making the judgment call.
He
Now,
wants the artifact. You want revenge. That's what it boils down to, right?
I mean, I think it all depends on what he necessarily wants it for.
I don't care what he
it's-
wants it for. We know what it does now, and I don't trust a businessman with the ability to do that kind of just have the ability to have everyone tell him everything. That's a lot of power.
Yes, but don't.
So,
I will also say, Tustin, and the rest of you, I do want revenge, yes. But if it meant giving up my revenge to keep people safe, I would do that in a heartbeat. My family here matters more than my family that's passed. And the people of this town, or of this land, the innocents, matter more to me than seeing him destroyed. Now, granted, I believe that seeing him destroyed would bring about a benefit for them, but as much as it pains me, I would hold myself back.
I understand. And Tustin, I also understand your point of view of not giving it to our client. However, I can't help but think in this situation we are led into a bias. We are being in talks with you, obviously, but we have yet to meet our own client in face.
You have.
So we're
We
going
met
into this.
him
You
before
did
we
meet him in
left.
face.
Oh, right. I thought, God fucking damn it. Listen, it's been like 4 weeks.
I know. That's why I was interrupting before you continued with what you were saying.
Never mind then. This conversation
and
never happened.
Actually, you've met him twice in face. He gave you the quest at the beginning. He very specifically wanted to meet you guys before relinquishing the quest, as well as he very specifically wanted to see you all. And
But he also didn't share a lot, other than, hey, yo, there's some extra money in it for you if you...
Yep.
Oh yeah,
we
we talked him into extra money.
it was not hard to talk him into extra money either. He
No,
very was willing
was
to
not.
throw whatever money he needed to at this.
Mm-hmm. So, from the sounds, and I'm no expert of the arcane, but this artifact has a power that can beguile to a great extent and change the world around it.
Yes.
At least
Maybe you've done a little bit more research, and she motions to Lyra, actually, who comes over and she sits she like kind of jumps up on the table on the side, like right next to Elara, and sits cross-legged on the table and goes, so I did a little bit of research, and you know how especially some of the people in the extreme north and the extreme south where the ley lines are a little wiggly, and some of the people who are in various parts, especially Thalor, where they have a lot of those who came down from above and are old as fuck, they talk a lot about time magic.
Chronomancy.
Yes. And I know that the Feywild here is very old, like super old. Like it was connected to the planet that got destroyed, apparently. History says. I've been doing a lot of digging. And so my thought is that they've perfected and know a little bit more about this time magic. And I think that there's some ties there. I don't know exactly what it does, but it definitely has an effect. There's some charm, some enchantment, there's some time.
I don't know what a guy like him could want with that. Like,
What the ability of
Can't you imagine what a statesman and a businessman would want with power over time and the ability to beguile others?
Chronomancy is a very powerful and ancient magic by the sounds of it. The flow of time itself is, at most, like a river. You can mess with it how you wish, divert it, change the whole entire course of one's life. You may not even become an actor if you wished.
don't ever say that. In every universe, in every spot, I'll become an actor. I fucking rule at that shit.
Not if he-
I'm so good. That's
Not if he had any control over it.
Shake my head dismissively, like
Whatever.
can't even
dude.
think about that. Messed up. What? Yeah. What do you know? Fucking wizard shit. I don't.
Listen, I have at least some level of intelligence, so I imagine I'm able to
Yeah.
more or less.
He's some level of intelligence.
Perlin, you've been quiet as someone connected to the Fae. What are your thoughts?
I honestly don't know. Do you feel like we should at least look into it? I don't trust him with it. I don't know exactly if I trust you or not. I still feel like no matter what, we should at least get the artifact. because even just having something out in the wild like that seems a little risky.
Which mountain pass was it?
I haven't told you.
Mm.
And you won't
That's
be
why
able
I was asking.
you won't be able to find it without my help. You can only go there and find it if you've been there before. It's a charm. And you can only enter if you have the key. And I'm the only one with the key.
Hmm.
And it's not a physical key. So I can go there.
Yeah.
I can open it. But I said my word that I would never enter.
Hmm.
You're a woman of secrets, that's for sure. And I feel like you've a bit more than just a key on you, ain't that correct?
She shrugs, and you actually see, as she shrugs and kind of smirks a little bit, you see just a gleam of green across her eyes.
Oh god, I know you relate spells to colours. Can I make an Arcana check to
Yeah.
see?
You
This-
can make an Arcana, or you can make an Insight.
They're both 4, so I'm gonna go insight. Hopefully. God fucking damn it!
You don't get anything from that, but I am going to just remind you, Lear, she straight up insinuated that her mom came from the Feywild.
Yeah, I figured as much.
So,
but other
like-
than Perlin,
Yeah, so she essentially said, hey, I have some Fey abilities. My mom came from the Feywild to you. You don't get anything as to what the effect is or if she's casting any magic or anything along those lines. But
God.
you do know that information. That's me telling Archie. You do have DM inspiration if you want to re-roll.
I have fucking DM inspiration?
Yep.
Yeah, somebody
You
gave it
do.
to you.
Since fucking when?
Just now, I will allow you to use it here.
You know what? If I get a third nat 1, I'm leaving the entire game.
No!
Lear
Don't
just
speak
dies.
that.
God damn it.
Ain't this better?
Okay,
I was gonna laugh if it was a 2.
I was gonna laugh if it was a 2 too. So with the 13, you don't think that she's casting any magic on you. You don't get like a huge. She hasn't displayed a ton of magical ability. And even when she was talking about the artifact, she didn't talk about it. She had what you assume is some sort of wizard caster or sorcerer, you're not positive, talk for her. So you get more of the sense that it's what she has is innate.
Mm.
Innate or like briefly studied.
Mm. Well,
Well, I'm inclined to help her out. And this is, I'll turn to the group. I'll be like, I'm inclined to help him out. One,
when. No, you go.
you goddamn right I'm gonna go. Jesus Christ, Archie. No, I'm just playing. I'll look at you guys and I'll just be like, well, I'm for one inclined to help out. There's something that doesn't sit right with me. But I mean, we did take a job. So we got to figure out that ramifications as well. I don't know what it means. We've never missed a job before. Like, I don't know what the guild's gonna think. I mean, do we go and be like, oh, he's bad, and we have, what, the word of... And I'll look at Elara and be like, no offense, but a bandit leader as, our evidence of this? Like,
You mean literally our target?
yeah.
Your target. Oh, that bitch.
Well,
Did
he
he
was
tell
me.
you to kill us too? Of course he did.
Yeah.
I
I know
no,
he said he'd pay his extra.
I have proof. I have papers. I have things that we've taken from him. I have books that we've taken from his house. Like, yeah, we could have forged it if you really want to, although his seal is on several of them. I have proof.
Hopefully I can recognize the forgery, because I have a forgery kit.
Maybe.
So I can certify it.
Well,
And I am willing to... if you get the artifact for me, we can come to some sort of agreement where I'm willing to give those up.
But yes, I understand that you, Tuscan, are very motivated to help out. No offense, again, our target.
Cough, cough.
I mean, but my god, man, what would Blaze back at the guild think?
What
Better
would they
question is,
think?
What would Kimber think of us having helped a less than honorable man?
That's my.
Yeah.
That's where I'm getting to. I don't think I don't think he deserves the contract that he put out. Like.
Oh,
he's
no, I
using
understand.
us to do his dirty work.
Oh no, I understand that
Fucked up.
Kimber's a sensible man. He would understand our tribulations, but man to man, a man in love versus you. What would Blaze back at the guild think? You helping out another woman?
Oh, fucking cunt! I swear to God, you're an asshole.
You see a slight. Well, he won't, but he's definitely trying to hide it. A slight grin.
Alara's
I mean, you did
like
ask-
grinning. She thinks this is
You-
fucking hilarious.
You did ask out for dinner, not once, not twice, but at least 13 different times.
I mean, like, even when you knew when to gave up when he was told no once.
Yeah.
That you know of.
How is? How
I
are
feel
you
it's
feeling?
very-
Still got bro's still open to the short stack. Noted.
Are we talking about Charles or Wenya?
Oh god. Anyway, how did
Wow.
both react in? Both the player and the NPC?
First of all, like, I'm gonna look at you and just be like, not appropriate, man. Not a thing we're talking about right now. Like,
Bro's
like
thinking, man,
first of all,
we've been so cool today.
yeah, like, there's things that on right now. None of the bullshit you're bitching. So focus, huh? And I'll do some snaps, like right here. Here's the focus.
I just personally have trepidatious about bouncing between every woman that you see.
Well, when I give a shit about your opinion about how I deal with people, I'll fucking ask for it. How about that?
And
I
how?
think we're getting distracted, gentlemen.
Yeah,
Alara,
Yeah, I
Alara is giggling. She thinks this is fucking hilarious.
yeah.
No
Anyway,
party's
no.
perfect.
I want to help out. I don't think we should help out that fucking dickhead who hired us. And I think we have to do right by both the guild and the people of the city that we take care of. So, my vote's to help out. And I'll go down
There's-
that mountain pass anyway.
I think I have something that could be. Well, I think it would work. Of course, I won't act alone. I've got to get all of your approvals first, but I think it would be a fair way to do it. Now, I would offer to give you my word that if you take us to the artifact, that we won't turn it in to our client. But I also don't know if we should turn it in to you. Bear in mind, I don't have uses for such things, and who knows how dangerous this thing is, but it just doesn't quite seem right giving it to a corrupt man or, again, pardon, miss, the leader of a bandit camp.
No, I know exactly what I am.
And so, I would happily give my word that it wouldn't touch either of your hands. And given that you're willing to honor your own mother's wishes, not to enter her resting place.
No, okay, I just want to interrupt. I literally cannot. I've tried. I can't.
It's like a
Hey,
physical barrier.
she's making it seem like she wouldn't. Or
No,
couldn't.
there's literally a
As a
physical
matter
barrier.
of-
It's a fake.
She made
a
a
fake
deal with her
promise.
mother. Her mother was a fae.
It's just the pay stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I will
shit.
be honest, it was one time I was very drunk, I was very upset, and I went there to mourn her, and I literally was like, what the fuck, I'll just try, and then I ran into a barrier.
Well, how about this? A compromise. He won't get it, but of course our party's hesitant to hand it over to you and your lot. But you have ties to the Escarosas, correct?
Yes.
And you find them very, at least, honourable people.
They haven't been noticeably corrupt with their power yet, correct?
How about that? They hold it on in representation of you and your party.
Yeah, but are they going to do anything with it, or is it just going to be a pretty artifact stuck behind a glass wall that does nothing to change the world?
It's not the fact that it does nothing to change the world if it is the worst case scenario in that sense. It's the fact that it does nothing to change anything.
Yeah, but it's doing nothing to change anything in the Mountain Pass.
But it makes nothing worse. It is the
I
least
also-
of evils.
Will say that if Eirwin is as bad as all that, I doubt if we fail or decide not to, that he'll just give up. Even if he doesn't go back to our guild hall, there will be more who come.
And if the Escarosas protect it, it'll be harder.
Harder than a Mountain Pass that only I have the key to unlock that has unknown level of enemies
No, to be honest,
or things in
I'm
it.
not sure why you want to retrieve it.
I
Yeah.
want to retrieve it so I can use it.
Exactly.
I've been completely upfront with that. Now, if you wanted to retrieve it and have it be in a holding pattern until you confirm that Eirwin is what I say it is, then you choose to take him down in the government way and can assure, then I would be happy to return the artifact back to the Mountain Pass. Unused.
What would you do with it?
I just want him gone. And I can't do that with my power now. Even if you five joined my team and we went on a grand heist and gave all of the things that we've gathered to prove his worth, I don't know the right people. I can't make that happen. I need help.
I have one question.
Yes.
When he is gone, what will you do with the artifact?
To be honest with you, I know how powerful those things are. And my mother gave her life literally to protect it. Her dying life essence, she said she was going to use to protect it. I would honor that and return it.
When he is going to pick his chair up and move it to the other side of the table.
Damn, that's a gesture.
I see
damn.
your.
I am sorry, dear. I have seen the government way of doing things.
There's
The
nothing to be.
slow trickle of corruption. If he is as bad as she says he is, he has his fingers in all of them already. We may have to do this outside of the law.
I have no hesitancy to go outside the governments of the law. It's whether I bring honor to my family first and foremost.
To bring honor to your family in, I understand, the holding pattern or whatever we decide. But you also bring more trouble for your family if you give it to them. They are a great and powerful family, yes. And they may have as many ties as you say. But they're still only one family. If he does have his fingers in everything, and it won't take long. And you are putting the woman you love in more risk than is needed.
God damn it, give me a sec.
That's a really good. Damn, snaps.
Hold on, this is either going to be very good for you or very bad for you, Winya. Odds, evens. Yes. How do I describe... How good of an actor is he right now?
I don't know how good of an actor is he.
We're about to find out. I swear to God, if I get like another nat one.
Oh no!
I
There
love
you go.
self-imposed roles. I think they're so fun. Okay, carry on.
Mm-hmm.
My wayward son.
I imagine because everybody at least have been gathering around for a year or so at this point. You see, it was very quick, but a tinge of not annoyance, not anger, but resentment at even the idea of you bringing up that thought. I understand your opinions. However, I want to make it clear we are not just the family. We have more than just a powerful family, in fact. And all I was saying is that we hold on for it for a short time. Make sure the information lines up. And then adjust our plans going forward with it.
Okay. I have a retort to that. What do we tell Eirwin? Do we say it wasn't there? Do we say we lost it, which will bring even further repercussions? What do we do?
I mean, did he ever even ask us for... No, he said he'd have information. People that'd be able to tell if the guild was gone.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm thinking to myself, does he even have proof that... Does he even need proof that we killed her? But
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the
No,
artifact.
killing her would have been like extra pay at most. The artifact.
What do we do about the artifact? Do we say we lost it? We do.
we could say it was never there in the first place. This quest did start off as a goose chase.
This is going to be a very fun role. I'm going to turn to... I keep forgetting her name. The lead off, right?
Elara.
Laura.
Elara. Can you do a rough description of the artifact?
I unfortunately can't. I wasn't allowed to see it. My mother did
Well-
not pull it out in our presence at all.
Well, not a rough description. Don't have to be accurate. What you imagine the artifact to be.
I can't tell you. She had it on her, but I never saw it, even when she was dying before we figured out to deliver the antidote. I have no idea. I don't know. It's obviously going to be something that she can keep on her person. A wand of sorts, maybe in one of her many leg holsters, a bracelet, an amulet, an earring, the bracer. I don't know. It could also be something that can disguise itself. I have
Let's
no
go with
idea.
Let's go with the amulet. I'm gonna... what room is this that we're in? Looks like a little base.
It's like you essentially get it's the base of operations, and she probably lives above it.
Pardon my intrusion. He's gonna start scurrying around some of the stuff until he finds an amulet-like item. And then uses this guy's kit to...
You scurry around, and Brennar like puts his hand on your head and just grunts out a, "What do you need?"
An amulet. Don't have to be fancy. No magical.
he turns your head back to the table and kind of like pushes you and like stomps off, and he like climbs the ladder, and he comes back down a moment later with like just a generic like necklace. Looks kind of
You
like a
don't have to be-
locket.
It don't have to be magical for this instance, but he's going to use his disguise kit to make it seem a mix of disguise and forgery.
Well, the only problem with that, as smart as it is that he probably knows what it looks like, but maybe you could wait until you get it and we could try to fabricate something together.
That was the idea. This was just a demonstration.
My question to that is, if he is magically inclined, will he not sense that the magic is either not there or is different?
There's many ways to subdue magic, and he purposely looks at the gnome girl. Isn't that right? I know for first hand.
I don't know, maybe.
Can I tell she's bullshitting?
Absolutely, she's bullshitting. And yeah, absolutely, she's bullshitting.
From what we know, at least, he doesn't. Does he have at least the inclination that you cannot pass the border?
He doesn't know. He doesn't even know where it is.
Exactly. So we can say we was followed by our compatriot here. Subdued in a battleland during a mishap. Magic hit the artifact and disintegrated its magical assets. And I imagine your Tuscan was to deliver that. We could make at least a convincing argument.
Okay, but there's a problem there. You could always say that you had to. I'm just chiming in as the magic user. Random magic bolt is not going to break an artifact of that power. Like, maybe a common magic item, but not like anything getting into the more rare things. However, you could say that you chose to suppress its magical effects. There's different spells that do that. I don't personally know any. Could have chosen to suppress the magical effects because you were trying to hide it from us.
See, there are many ways to go about this. We don't need to lie to him in the sense of we lost it or broke it or got it stolen. Just he needs to be convinced for a short time he's holding is the genuine thing.
Then what do we do about his wrath afterward?
If his wrath is found misplaced, as in he is, as Tuscan has described it, a man of bullshit, then we have our connections, both guild, family, and an alliance. Isn't that correct? Me saying, well.
I did say I would give you all of my papers proving all of his stuff.
Tustin's gonna stand up and he's gonna take his chair and sit next to Wenya and be like, I don't know why all this damn bullshit with you trying to come up with some great subterfuge and having all this control. I believe
It's not
I might
subterfuge.
not be able to determine the right way to talk to women, but I know when good is good and bad is bad. And this is bad. And I'm gonna do the good thing. And I'll sit there.
I am just trying to be careful. Not rush in recklessly, getting my head split between my goddamn shoulders.
Take all the caution you want. I know where I'm sitting.
High or low?
Low.
You are not being cautious, you are being cowardly.
Dang. Should've went high.
Cowardly would be me turning away and running, not taking action at all. I'm trying to think of a plan before we foolishly believe one side over the other.
I'm gonna
about
interject
you?
here.
Yeah.
Unless you know, if either of you two who not to play mediator for your group. Never mind. How about this? This can be our deal and where our deal extends. I'll get you into the mountain pass. You're gonna have to survive whatever's inside. It might just be walking up and taking the artifact. There might be bullshit. I have no clue. You get the artifact, you come back out. You can hold it, and you can see the grimace in her face. I will give you all of the papers that prove the embezzlement, as long as you promise that the artifact does not get into his hand. Whether you hold on to it, or you give it to your family, or you work with your guild, or whatever. As I said, I'm willing to go the right way about this, but as you said, Wenya, it's slow. There's bureaucratic bullshit. And I'm sure that people have tried to take him down in the past. However, he's always had the artifact with him. I just want to see his demise. I just want to see the people freed. If the artifact isn't used, fine. I will happily put it back. As I said. You can get it, discuss out of our prying ears if you need to, and make a decision as you exit. But I'm going to trust you that you're not going to give it to him. And if
There's more talking than I'm used to.
That's fair.
But I don't plan to hand it over to him, and I don't think anyone else here does. Not until things have been straightened out, and I see the truth in your eyes.
I wanted to make it clear I wasn't going to give it to him either way.
She nods at you.
I may have been too coarse with my words today. I apologize, Leah. I'm just... It's just too similar to Ega. Too similar to my home, and I will go to the hells before I see that happen again.
She puts a hand on your shoulder. And it's just like, you look and see her eyes, and you just see like the sympathy and the understanding. She knows what's happened in your country, and she knows the war that is coming there, and the war that's been happening, and the innocent people slaughtered.
Well, I may not know what happened in Ega fully. I hope you understand that. I too will go to the hells to make sure nothing. So leaves the people that have given me a future.
I understand.
I shall join you. I shall hold, like I said, my judgment. For we are still a party. But if I think for a moment, and this is an open threat to everyone here, for a moment, that this endangers my family, endangers Lilith, I am not going to hesitate to go back and spread the information here. To the guild, to Eirwin, to my family in particular.
Hey, I'm just saying, you're the one who offered up them holding on to a very dangerous Fey artifact. So, that's on you,
I know.
man. I understand and respect.
He is very evidently not acting normal. He is glaring this woman down.
And she's grinning
Yes.
at you, and it's like a soft understanding. I understand.
You could say that he's leering at her.
I am going to hurt you, both in character and out of character. It's
beautiful.
clear.
That
It's
was
clear.
beautiful.
Clear.
I understand. It's your choice. It's always your choice. That is something that I care immensely about. I will not endanger them. Now, granted, being involved with the Fey artifact probably one of the more dangerous men on the council used to own might endanger them, but they also seem to be powerful enough to withstand that, and who knows what artifacts they have. Actually, I do know several of them. I've procured maybe 2, but you know,
Oh, really?
that's a story for
Yeah.
later.
No, I'm curious now. You definitely have ties to my family, and if you
Clear.
proclaimed artifacts, it's only right.
Yeah, but that doesn't need to be part of this super intense dealing at this table that's happening right now. That can be
Fair
a
enough.
story for later.
Oh, your pendant. I slide the now decorated, forged, broken magic item in front of her. Quote unquote magic item.
You're pretty good at what you do. Well,
Well, yes.
just in the sake of honesty, I will say that the licorice wine is fey magicked, and I don't think all of you took it. I think you did. You've been quiet. And she points at Pearlin.
Yeah.
But you were asked to tell the truth, is essentially what it was. Just for the sake of honesty.
I was under the assumption it.
And I was under the assumption that was some type of magical effect, protecting people.
Figured as much. Appreciate it.
Maybe that's why he was such a prick. And I'll cast Gift of Gab, and no one will hear that I said that. But I wanted to say it and get it off my chest. Oh, yeah, here we go. You'll just see 2 coins clink to the ground and be like,
Did you say
Well,
something?
somebody gave it.
no, it's just a little congestion.
Have more of the licorice, if you don't mind, of course.
I mean, you can drink it, but it might make you speak only the truth.
Is it truly one of your mother's concoctions, or do you,
Yeah,
do you have the ability to make more?
I do not have the ability. So,
I will not drink any of it.
what?
I'm not going to drink another bit of it,
Okay.
out of respect.
Aw. But I do have something similar that's less magicked, that is less rare, that we can break out later, or now, and she, like, kind of motions, and Lyra's, like, gone.
That one scares me.
I know,
Oh,
right?
just you wait until
God
you
damn it,
see
Wenya!
her fight. She's so cool.
You're that one, yeah, she's a fighter.
She's a fighter, she's a trickster.
I mean,
When I do that, how does Brennar look?
he looks furious, but I mean, his expression doesn't change much because he just in general always looks furious. But like, you just kind of feel like dark energy. Like, if he was in an anime, it would be like the black fire at the back.
I would be dead if
He's
it was
got
killed kind of
he's
thing.
got the little script that Dio has.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to match his energy because I'm also pretty annoyed, so my armor starts bellowing smoke.
Ooh.
All right. Well, for the sake of this, have we come to an agreement as to what the next step in general is?
I kick my stool over and sit down. Kind of in the middle, like not on the other side.
So like at the head of the table, kind of.
Okay,
Yeah.
we don't need to do this whole moving chairs around. The table will be unbalanced, and like that's not a way to, you know, have conversations. But I understand and appreciate the stand. Thank you. And at that point, Lyra actually just like reappears in the middle of the table. Holding
You
up
need to stop doing
2
that.
bottles. But it's so fun.
You're wasting your magic.
Wasting
And you
my
also took a
magic.
tum-
I'm gonna
Yes.
literally go to sleep right now. I'm gonna have all of my. We're gonna drink. I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm gonna have all my magic back. What are you saying? We're gonna fight? Do you want to duke it out? We can duke it out. Come on, let's go.
I don't want to duke it out. Besides, I'm pretty sure
the
the big
child
owl
wants to fight.
will jump me.
No. He lets me fight my own fights. We can duke it out.
I put a bag of gold on the table. I'll pay. I put good money on that.
We don't need to. Give us a sec. Anyway, all I'm saying is that when we first met, you almost took a tumble when you did that.
I did not.
I saw you take two. I saw you take 2 fumbled steps before balancing yourself.
Nuh-uh.
What do you mean? No, we all saw that. Fine, let's do this.
Did you all see it?
What do you mean, nuh-uh?
Nuh-uh.
Fine, let's do this. I'm putting it. Can we just make it like a quick combat thing, not actual combat?
Yeah, we absolutely can, because I would rather wrap up and end. Otherwise, if you want to do actual combat, we can, just maybe next session.
No, let's do quick combat.
Okay, so for the sake of this, I'm going to tell you now, she's a blade singer.
Oh, of course she is. I knew it. I fucking knew it.
I mean, speedy gnome makes sense.
She's a blade singer. Her AC is 21 in blade song, and she has a lot of movement. So this is gonna be, I'm gonna have you roll a luck check, unless you want to argue something else. And just depending on things is going to depend whether or not you win. Do you have things that you would bring to the table? She's gonna be a lot of quick movement, a lot of like, she literally will use your friends to her advantage. She will hide beneath them and come up and strike you.
I have things like heat metal, fear, shatter. I would like to argue before the combat starts. I would like to dive into her mind, at least surface, but
You
I will
can't.
find out again. Still can. Dissonant whispers, things that will let me do a lot of crowd control of her getting close to me.
I'll be honest with you. Crowd control against a blade singer with a lot of dispel magics is not gonna do a ton.
I also have Silvery Barb, so I can low roll her dispel magics.
Okay, so the DC is going to be decently high. I'm going to have you roll a D100 and we'll see. Does anyone want to make any bets before this happens?
100 gold, she wins, and I'm
Yep.
I'm gonna fuck with him so bad. Like every time I can, I'm gonna be
fuck
like
with
prestidigitate his shoelaces together, or like undo a buckle, or
See, I'm not
like
gonna fuck with him, but I will put 50 on her.
Okay.
yeah. I'll use unsettling words if I can see she throws a spell that messes with his head out. Like I'm definitely like, yeah, I'm on her team.
Is this because I brought a blaze?
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea. I'm just securing an investment.
I would like to, perform as cause and all that before the battle starts. I would like to bring the inner party out on the balcony, bring her down into the field, and gather everybody around and tell them, "Drink me, for we are about to put on a grand show."
Okay. Anyone else wish to place bets? And bets are going all around the outside and everything like that. And
What are the odds?
do you want me to tell you?
Yes.
Okay.
Never tell me the odds.
So if you want to place a bet, you need to know before you know the odds.
What?
If anyone wants to place any more bets, you gotta know before you know the odds. I will say that.
I'm
I
putting
bet you
50
give
on
her mobile too. I know that look.
Do
Either
I
mobile or
Do I build
I mean-
blade singers? Let's be real.
I mean, if she's over 8th level, she could have both mobile and squat nimbleness. It's just a small race.
I'm going to actually put 50 on Lear.
Okay.
Wait, I have 50 on her.
Mm-hmm.
I put 100 on him, or on her.
It's her companions betting.
110%. Elara is betting on her. Brennar is not making any changes.
Oh god, the entire camp's gonna get one hell of a shum.
Yep.
It's gonna be your
Alright.
ass being beat.
I'm ready to roll.
Okay. So, go ahead and roll a D100. You have to beat a 70.
Question, DM. How far up are we from them?
You can be as close as you want to. I would say they have a circle that has about, like...
Are we within 60 feet?
I would say at some point you can be within 60 feet.
Okay.
Okay.
We're not, like, doing actual combat. He's just gonna straight roll.
Oh, I know.
Oh.
I'm just saying, like, if I could lower the percentage roll for him,
Okay.
Silvery Barb and Shield of Faith.
Okay. For the sake of that, I will lower it to a 65. So Tustin's stuff did raise it.
Oh, I understand.
Are you trying to tell
Yeah,
me
I thought
one
so.
year was a 69?
But guys, gods, please bless me.
Okay, you have to roll above
That's
a
a lot.
65. A 65 or higher.
I was an 88.
Hey!
Nice.
Damn, I lose 50 gold.
Damn! Okay, and so what happens is it's not that you win per se. It's
But you don't lose.
that and she uses like invisibility. She uses haste. She's like doing as much as she can, and just like at the last moment, you manage to catch her and catch her mind in a spell. And after she falls out of it, she just goes, "Okay, I can see."
Fair enough. Again, I was going to do things like heat metal, drop a weapon,
Yep.
anything like that.
Yep. Beautiful.
God, that was so many spell slots used.
Yep.
Mhm.
Knock them all off. She goes, "I concede." But you have to admit, we were pretty evenly matched.
I'd say you're just a bit more trained than I am, but
Yeah,
maybe
it's amazing what happens when you have the School of Hard Knocks. And she, like, kicks her foot off and does a backflip, and then she, like, meanders off.
she's doing a little jide.
Absolutely, she is.
So I have a question for you. Who all bet on Lear?
I would say it's you, and then there was maybe, like, 2 or 3 people in the audience. A lot of them bet on, Lyra.
Okay.
So me,
you gain, I would say, about 200 gold. So those who lost, go ahead and mark it off.
was
suck
a-
it, losers.
4-to-1 odds, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, a lot lower than I was expecting.
So after a
I mean-
couple of minutes, you guys all head back on up to the private room. The not magical wine is distributed. There's like a really beautiful like desserts put out and some pastries and stuff like that. And for the sake of it, you have like just an enjoyable night. And Lyra is like very optimistic and very excited that you won, and she's like asking you about the things that you did and wanting to learn some of your magic. I will, however, will you make a perception check for me?
Me?
Yep.
Come on, high roll. No, still bad. What is it with my rolls tonight?
I don't know.
I get
actually,
like
but I'm
5
right
low
up that way
rolls in a
today.
row and then 1 high one.
Okay. So I would say Perilyn and Tustin, you notice that she is actively pickpocketing him the entire time she was
This
talking to
bitch.
him.
Could I use my passive perception
Nope.
for that?
Nope,
I'll do it.
not at all.
Nope.
And I'm just gonna put my hand around Perilyn and just like, I'm
I
gonna
was
be
about
like,
to say, I'm gonna be giving you
That
a
was
look.
worth it.
Should we tell him? Should we tell him?
I'll be like, no, he earned it. He earned it.
Oh, hold on.
So if you have any nice jewelry you have on you, she's like slowly taking off of you. She's not taking gold, she's taking trinkets.
Damn it! I was going to say I have 2 pouches specifically for this. I was gonna have to ask you to roll.
No, she's not taking gold. She is literally taking all of your knickknacks and your trinkets, and like if you have any jewelry, it just starts to begin to. And she doesn't go for the obvious stuff. Like if you have like an Escarosa symbol, she's not gonna take that. But like she will take like any random like daggers you have on you. She will take all of them.
My dagger, my flute,
Yep.
This is just a way to get your gremlin energy out, isn't it?
my hold on, the bitch took my disguise kit.
Sure. Might as well.
Cause that's on like this.
Yeah.
Folded.
And so I think with that, we are going to end this evening's tale as we watch Tustin and Perilyn with their arms around each other watch Lear get pickpocketed to shit. And so with that, for those who are with us on Twitch, stick around. We're gonna say goodbye and raid off. But for those who joined us on YouTube, thank you again for joining us for this next rendition and chapter in our tale. We have several more to go, so make sure you stick around. Check out the others down below in the comments section or the description. There we go. As well as join us on Discord if you want to know a little bit more. And we will catch you all on the next time.